Hello, welcome to some collective tarot. I'm excited to share a new tarot spread I received on what shadow work is ready to be integrated and what light is needing to be maintained. So this is a 6 card tarot spread, and I'm also have a couple of oracle decks to potentially support further clarification if as needed. And I will share all the decks utilized below so that you're welcome to access them as well. If you have come across my channel the first time for this tarot reading, I am Josie. Nice to meet you. I have been working with spirit for the majority of my life, and that is one thing that is supported me in these deep healings, most definitely, is our connection and support with truth tellers. Truth tellers be spirit. They're a little bit, they know us better, right? They know us better than sometimes even we may feel like we know ourselves as we are clearing through previous conditionings or old habits, beliefs, ways of acting. And this year is very much asking us to let the past be past, so that even if that's kind of our previous expectations, our previous workings, our previous ways of moving around, that can we be open to further possibility? And that is really asking us to, for all the deep shadow work that we've been doing and in these past 4 years and onwards. I'm sure many of you have been doing some deep work for most of your life. That it's like this, it's a culmination point of asking us, yes, there's been a lot of deep shadow work, but instead of kind of like wallowing in it, to then see how can you bring some equilibrium to that, to lean into the light if you're deep in the shadow, as well as to honor what shadows are being asked to be integrated. And integration, there's a lot of talk about it. You can obviously Google the word, but energetic, when we're working through healings and transitions, the awareness of integration, kind of think of it as a digestion, so that it's like once you kind of see the thing, right, you then choose to eat it, and then you're chomping and eating it, and it comes into you, and slowly the nutrients start to kind of like do their magic in your body. And of course then you over time digest, right, all the nutrients and potentially expel the things that are not required anymore. So integration can kind of feel like that. It's that there is a digestion process and an expellation process. And so I hope the intention of this collective tarot reading is to support further integration of your shadow while also remembering what to maintain. Okay. And I will also list the placements below if you wish to do your own personal tarot reading, to see kind of like to look further into what has come up within the groups, what has come up within the group collective message. And also to be aware, right, there's going to be actually 4 groups today that I'm going to share readings for. So this might be a long video. You're welcome to watch as many as you connect with. But know that collective tarot, right, it's not that this is a new thing, but collective tarot this year and onwards is really important. There's a lot of interconnections between what we're working, what we feel as in self, right, in solo, so to speak, in your solo experience of life, as well as what is occurring, of course, on a larger level, collectively and energetically. So the sweet thing about collective or group tarot is to not necessarily look for personal message. It's about observing what is being shared to that group's energy, right? See what things you're guided to kind of like write down or jot down in your notes or doodle about or explore further. And then truly, if you want to kind of like get some very pertinent messages to kind of see from that collective message, from that group energy message, what you can look at further within self, then you can of course do your solo tarot reading. And of course, if you're uncertain or freaked out about reading your own tarot, I of course you're welcome to connect with me for a private reading as well. So Josie here, you're welcome to like, subscribe for further content. I will be uploading at least a collective tarot reading weekly. That's the intention. And then as well, if you're guided to share forwards this information towards someone else within your life, I always thank you. Let's get started. So taking a moment just to, I'm nudged to work with this deck, which is the Return of Spirit deck by Cheryl Harnish, for the initial cards that you can connect to and see which group you are really connecting with. And one thing I want to support in your choosing of the reading for this, because it's kind of deep, right? It's shadow work and light work integrated. It's a synergy spread. So there might already be some kind of like that come up around this. I know for sure it took me some time to even be ready to prepare to record this information and to tap into that amount of information for you all. So what I would suggest is when I share the cards to the screen as you choose your groups today, to see kind of what you get tugged in you're like, yes, 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 right? And then also see potentially which one brings up a visceral response, be it some actual experience of like energetic pings within the body, blips in the belly, aches in the heart area, you know, and allow that to be the one that you dive into first, is the one that creates the most kind of visceral response in your energetic being. Okay, so let's take a moment first, just to give yourself a couple breaths. It's been a long journey to get here. And may you open to receive the message, the guidance, potential clarity to support your journey forwards, to honor when you connect to this video, to honor that it is the right time. To welcome the support of your ancestors, most beloved, the ones that cheer you forwards, that wish to share their wisdom, their integrity, and their capacity with you, alongside you in your journey. To welcome the grand angels, the protectors and guardians that support your soul and your walk on these planes of earth. To honor the wisdom that is carried within your being. And to trust that guidance is not here to negate your internal wisdom, but to amplify and to allow that wisdom to expand. to support your decisions, your actions, and your shifts, your choices. To welcome in those most divine that you connect to and share love with within those deep shadow times, the dark nights. To welcome the energetic movements of both shadow and light within you, and to honor that they both share great wisdom for you to access, maintain, and support. To welcome your helpers on earth planes, the plants, the animals, the trees, the waters, the soil. And to gift yourself the space and time for this reading and this connection. To thank yourself for that gift. Amidst all that is moving within you on a daily basis right now, as well as all that is moving within the turbulent movements of the collective, of our planet, of our peoples. To gift yourself this respite. I ask for support from my own spirit council to support the translations, and the messages. May they be pertinent, may they be clear. Giving and sharing some breath to all of us who have gathered here. At different places and spaces and time. To gather in group. To honor that message in group can support all that are reading, that all that have seated, and the many interconnections beyond even those who receive and listen. Deep gratitude for this honor to read for you today. All right. Group 1, who's coming in, if you like to connect to crystal or stone energy, our helpers, is Obsidian. I always, as you see, wear a bit of Obsidian to support in my tarot divination connections, to allow myself to focus in. So I'm already getting a bit of a focus as well as protection and supporting from what you may feel as things that are unsupportive or negative around you. So for group 1, what is the way to pull them in? Ooh, you see that jump? Surfacing. These are fractalized cards. So just enjoying what you may see. You're welcome to jot down any notes already that you may receive from this card. Just breathing into it. Surfacing. Group 1. For group 2, This wondrous quartz comes in. Quartz is naturally something to amplify, to clarify, to see further. I'm also getting even see truth. Woo! Well, that came quick. I couldn't even fully shuffle. Thank you, Spirit Team. Wow. Manifest. Manifest. Manifest is bringing something into form, welcoming, receiving something. The good creation work. So group 2 is manifest. Group 3, clearly, as soon as I connected right after, is amethyst. This beautiful kind of, I always think of it as my heart amethyst. Amethyst definitely shares enhancement of intuition usually, but it's also quite freeing for further introspection, kind of expansion of consciousness. It's definitely the word that's coming with this is freedom already. Group 3. What card can support their choice today in connecting to this? Okay. Wow. Violet flame. Violet flame. Violet flame is a very cleansing, deeply healing energy. Deep clearing, deep clearing. Group 3. Oh, I'm just even realizing, of course, this deep violet flame is coming with this beautiful similar color of the amethyst. Wow. My purple peoples. So just allowing yourself to take in the card to see which one is giving you quite the visceral response. And you're welcome to always, replay this choosing as you need to. All right, group 4. I'm actually, this might be an agate. It always reminds me of the earth, right? It has kind of like those greens and blues, and just kind of reminds me of how the globe looks from space. I just adore this one. So I always call this my earth stone. But if you are more familiar with what crystal this is, you're welcome to share below. For group 4, what card is surfacing to support their choosing? Ooh, okay. Oh. Worthy. Wow. Worthy. Self-worth. Even getting a bit of kind of self-talk. How do you talk to yourself? So worthy of this beautiful earth stone. All right. So just to recap, group 1, surfacing with Obsidian. Group 2, manifest with Quartz. Group 3, violet flame with the Amethyst. And group 4 is worthy with the earth, Agate. All right, all right. So now that you have selected, there's timestamps below. Let's get into our connection with group one. What shadow work is ready to be integrated and what light is needing to be maintained. I'm just going to move and give myself some space here. All right. I'm already getting from even just the synergy card for group one, or kind of like, it's neat. I'm using that word a lot because actually in the tarot spread, they're sharing that this is a synergy spread. And there's, it feels like from the deep energy work that you've been doing, that there's a lot kind of bubbling and processing within you, which can almost lead to a bit of excess nerves, excess kind of like jitters, which then might naturally bring you to feeling like going, oh my gosh, this is fear, or oh my gosh, these sensations within me are worry, that the sensations with me are too intense, what's going on. And they're almost wanting to share that, like, what is oh my gosh, they're saying some weird words, recapitulating. I don't even understand that, recapitulating, or what is um moving and regenerating, and like I'm trying to get the translation of this word, of what they're kind of trying to share energetically. But what's regenerating within from your deep workings is you're kind of in the process of the sifting and the sorting of kind of acknowledging what might still be the shadow habits, as well as what might be like the new experiences or the new ways that you're choosing to move through the world. So it can be a bit confusing right now. It can be a bit there is some kind of uncertainty of actually your own internal landscape at this point. And with that, I'm guided to actually bring in a pure magic oracle to just bring in one card for group one to further support this introduction to what is surfacing. Okay. Vervain Everlasting. Look at this beautiful card. These cards are based on different elements. So the 9, this is an earth element, and it shares spellbound, soul alignment, release, protection. Let's add to that. Just be pulling out a couple oracle decks spoke to me prior to this, so that we can do so the Moonology deck as well as the Plant Spirit Oracle deck. So I'm just going to take one card from each before we get into the tarot. So for group one, okay, group one, your oracle cards. All right. Wow. So, Vervain Everlasting, show the world the real you with a full moon in Aquarius. I actually just had one recently. So something almost feels, if you're tapping into this around this time, because there's a full moon coming up as well, something is very potent in the moon cycles. You're being supported, I'm getting. To trust, when things are kind of shifting and surfacing and bubbling up and moving within, we kind of like want that still waters to occur right away. But they're almost sharing, it's like if that occurred, it might be too much to handle. And so to honor kind of going like, how could you expand and extend your not even just patience, but your grace to yourself, to allow some moon cycles, a couple months or so, to allow everything to almost properly be assemble itself. And the other card that showed up is the Great Web, which shares the words also interconnection, kinship, symbiosis. Interconnection, kinship, symbiosis. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay. All right. So I will potentially refer to these oracles cards throughout the reading. I'm nudged to also work with the This Might Hurt Tarot deck by Isabella Rotman, which has been very, very yeah, it's hard now to even like want to go back to the Rider-Waite, even though this is based on the Rider-Waite. Just the energy of these cards are fabulous. Some of them may have to be censored, so that's why when I bring them up, if my fingers are covering parts of the cards, just honor that. Okay, so group one, we're looking at what shadow work is ready to be integrated and what light is needing to be maintained. Card placement one are the current shadows that you are moving through. Current shadows that you are moving through. Okay. Card two is integration time. Sorry, not integration time, the elemental shift. So what element potentially may you need to shift to working with, or to work on balancing two workings with different elements to support. Card three is the workings forwards to support integration. Card four is the light maintenance. What will this assist? Sorry. Yeah, card four, is the request. I'm reading from my notes and I realized I switched them around a bit. So card four is the request to maintain this. Oh, sorry, what will this assist in your life? Let me just double check this. I'm getting guided to triple check this spread. Card four, request to maintain this upkeep. What will this assist in your life? I think this is too cute. I think I have it listed up on my Patreon. You're welcome to always step in. I always share any new tarot spreads that come from my spirit team. So yes, what will this work assist in your life? What to look forward to is this one in tarot 4. And that's coming right there. Card 5 is light maintenance, a request to maintain, protect, shelter, or sustain this. And card 6 is the synergy card. So it's kind of in cooperation with both and. When an acceptance of both this shadow and light, then what this can support within you. Okay, so I pulled all 6 cards. Let's take a look. I do work with reversals. I think it's quite important. And know that reversals don't necessarily mean that the energy is blocked. It's asking you to kind of look into the energy of the tarot. And the beauty of tarot, of course, as you know, is that even in a group collective, the information that I might share, right? You can look further into it. There's so much information out there about the Rider-Waite tarot deck and all the cards. So honor if you are guided to look further into a specific card or to receive further message. Now, all right, some conflict has been arising, and the 5 of Wands has shown up. The actual upright of this card, as you can see, is quite the conflicting dog park right here. Everyone, fighting for what's mine. I'm seeing there's some intensity. This is mine. This is not yours. So almost some conflict between you and some other peoples. Some also kind of like feeling of, oh my gosh, like how am I going to be able to defend myself over all this intensity that is around me? this uncertainty of woe is me, woe is me. And so in this, what shadow current shadows are moving through, it's neat. They're almost sharing like this this feeling like, oh, this is my lot in life, or oh, like you know, I am just a bit of victim mentality, a bit of a victimization, which with shadows, know that shadows are not just ours, right? Like a lot of the big shadows that we're working through are maybe from patternings that you're starting to see within your own life, but also are amplified from what we're transmuting and shifting within our bodies, is going to also support shifting and transmuting the things within our ancestries, within our lineages. And I'm getting that definitely this current of feeling like kind of the whole world's against you, or that there's just going to be continual conflict, is starting to shift. It is reversed. And in that reversal, I'm almost seeing that like you're starting to see a way out of this. You're starting to look beyond this. This kind of like regular way of seeing how you are interacting with the world, and interacting. And when I say interacting with the world, that could be even interacting with the people that you're living in your house with, interacting with your family, your friends, right? Like this is because the beings or the I'm really getting that this is actually like this current of tension and uncertainty is actually very close to you, very be it from disagreements, be it from accusations, be it from, yeah. So it kind of like, because of all this conflict or chaos that has surrounded you in life, there's kind of this feeling of kind of going like, well, how then do, like, is this just, there's almost a comfort of how you have gotten used to this rhythm. And it's neat. They're guiding me to kind of look at that Vervain Everlasting card, right? Which is sharing this release as well as protection. And almost going like, can you realize that some of these shadows are not yours, or this allowing of allowing your mind, allowing, this is mental, this is very mental, to almost like allow your mind to feel like that this kind of struggle and strife is going to continue, and this is just kind of how it's regularly occurred. So there's almost like a feeling of no end to that. In the second card, when they're asking what element to shift, it's kind of neat because the same element, the Seven of Wands, shows up, right? Wands is fire. Wands is fire. And in here, there's all obviously a seeing or a feeling of kind of preparation for attack. Like you're like, okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready now. From all of that chaos or all that difficulty, I've now taken a wand up, and I've discovered that intent or that focus. It's neat. I remember there was a focus word. It's like almost focusing that intent, and instead of to all of the conflict around, right? Like, and I'm getting, it's like, oh, this person and this person is bugging me. And so like we kind of like, you kind of focus on like one issue, instead of kind of going like, right, all of these conflicts are kind of uniting or showcasing themselves to further elaborate this pattern of going, okay, so now, yes, you may still feel like you need to be prepared for further conflict, but to allow that, almost, yes, like I'm getting like this visual of an archer, and of how they, you know, they're drawing like in order to even like draw that right, like that thing, you have to kind of really align it with your eye and get very clear and very focused before you release that into the world, before you release your fire into the world. So with that aligned with the vervain, because they keep on coming back to the vervain, I'm getting that as much as you've been working with fire to also bring in the element of earth, bring in the element of earth into this. And if you haven't worked a lot with earth, for sure you could look into vervain, right? You can look into this plant and see kind of what arises with that. But I'm getting very kind of like adding, and this sounds weird, but like herbal teas, adding in this is so neat, herbal teas to support the assimilation, to check in, you know, it's like to allow, instead of the focus to be around what's the next conflict, to actually kind of go, okay, I am focusing on the things that are surfacing, the things that are shifting, the conflict that I'm feeling that's roiling within my own mind, within my own body, within my own consistency. And I'm going to support that. Almost like, does that make sense? That instead of kind of really focusing on the fire around, to allow the focus to shift, that to shift into caring for your well-being, for your actual physicality and for your body. And when it comes to then moving forwards to, or the workings forwards to support your shadows integrating into your life, it's like, what would the shadow be, right? Like this victimization, this feeling like that conflict follows you, that there's always going to be challenge in communication and connection with people around you. People don't get me type of idea, right? Which I'm kind of getting with this show the world the real you, that it's like, oh, like I want to show all my authentic self. I want to show all my strength and my wild, as well as my strong and capable, and you know, all those fabulous things that you might start to adhere to. I'm getting even like Greek goddesses, that there might be some of you that are really connected to almost like seeing that deity and in their strength and their immensity, that is very inspiring for you. And there's, I'm going to have to censor this because there's a completely naked person on this card, but the star showed up as how to support integration. And I'm just gonna kind of, I know I'm blocking part of the card, but as you see, they're here with a with swans and pouring water. Let me just move it to the other side, as well as with an ibis. Very, very special bird connections. And you can even see within the star card, though, that it was reversed. It was reversed. It came up. So there's something also about being, it's like there's almost has been so many kind of patterns of ferocity or intensity or swift movement, swift action, swift conflict, that has kind of led you to be just like, okay, I'm ready. What do you need from me? Rah! Right? There's just like this swift response that comes up, and even in that the strength of the shifts that you've done, there's almost an ask now to go, what if you lessen that? What if you actually just gave yourself kind of like a new modus operandi, to allow self to take more space to respond, take more time away from the interaction, like just almost giving, if it's, I'm getting it's like someone on the phone, right, going like, what do you want to do, or here's the information, like what do you choose, what's your decision, and because of almost the urgency of asking you to decide, right? And with so much kind of movement within you, uh, there's almost like this pressure, this sense of urgency to be swift in what's moving through your life right now, and to support these shadows really integrating right back into the digestion and the explanation of the things that need to occur. They're like, give yourself some time, give yourself some space to like pour the water, connect to the birds, right? Like move into deeper connection and relation, though really also with self. Oop, I almost just showed some of the nakedness, but right, like there's this, the star is always allowing, like many people think it's just about like, yay, like you're a star, you're there, definitely there, you carry such light, you carry such light, but there is, it's almost that that light has been riled to the point that when things are clear, right, there's a lot of kind of impulsive fire connection, and that you might even, I'm getting that there's some beratement about, like you'll share something quick and to somebody, and then you'll be like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that, or you know, and then you kind of like replay conversations, or replay connections, replay decisions within your mind for days and days and days. And they're like, well, hey, guess what, you've been giving yourself days and days to days to analyze or over analyze things that have passed. So it's like, now can you give yourself, what if you shifted your awareness in those days, right? That, remember, the elemental shift is adding in earth. And so it's like going, right, what if in those days and days you just allowed yourself going, it's done, it's been done, so now I can work on what is arising, how is my body responding, how is, there's a lot of mental work in this group, meaning a lot of like activity in the head, a lot of electrical kind of impulsive, like impulse energy, and they're really asking to step into more of the vibration of the body, the energetic vibration of the body, to support this, to support the digestion. And I know it sounds weird, make tea, right? But it's like that whole process of making tea. I'm even getting from, I don't know if I have it here, from a book by Ram Dass on paths to God, living the Bhagavad Gita, when he talks about karma, and which karma is just action, right? Like the action of things, and how we you know, he speaks of this making the perfect tea. And you know, it's like if somebody said, can you please make me a perfect tea, you know, and you want to make it like the most perfect and fabulous tea ever, so you're like, okay, I'm going to like, I'm thinking of how to make the perfect tea. So like throughout the actual doing of making the tea, you're there thinking more of the outcome, you're thinking more of right, the perfect tea, not of steeping the water, boiling the water, doing, you know, doing the things that are required to actually make the tea. And so they, he speaks in that book, and I'm really loving actually this analogy. Thank you, Ramadas, for coming on in. um, but of kind of going like, right, to make the perfect tea, I just need to make tea. I just need to do the do. I just need to make the tea. It doesn't, and it, because perfection, right? Like it again, instead of thinking like perfect tea is steeped for a certain amount of minutes, has a certain amount of like intensity, has, you know what I mean? Like that kind of like level and order and all that shit. It's instead asking you to now go like, how can I just lessen the intensity of my mind in those processes of what will the outcome be, or I need to do this efficiently, perfectly, emphatically, all of these things I have to measure and follow all these different like things to make it perfect, and realize perfection, they're more so kind of sharing like, think of, instead of making the perfect tea, simply just allowing the completion. It's like, how can you go through making your tea, doing it in a grounded, um, earthy way of like, they're sharing almost like smell the tea, like, smell the herbs, welcome in the plant that you're working with, like connect to the water as it boils, and go like, how wondrous is this alchemy, right? That we have, that we can mix water with fire and allow it to boil up, you know, and then from that like beautiful warm kind of steam of the water, then I add in these herbs that are speaking to me and making my body feel like complete, whole, in knowing that I am nourishing my being in a very real way. And this is, yeah, I feel that there's just been a lot of mental work, and this kind of shows up even within. I'm going to just make a note because I keep on looking back at my tarot spread for 4 and 5, because I think I messed them up on my notepad. But number 4 is what will work, what will this all this work assist in your life, what to look forward to. And it's kind of neat because the 8 of Wands, you have a lot of wands. There's a lot of fire going on right now. And 8 of Wands usually is swift message. As you can kind of see, there's all these animals very swiftly going with the direction of the arrows. There's a lot of movement direct in one way, but again, it came reversed. And so there's almost it feels like, because you have done so much mentally in your awareness, um but it's almost like your mind has there's such a diligence and awareness in the mind, that there is an innate desire for kind of like swift, almost, I'm getting like when you get into those group tarot messages online, and they're like, oh my gosh, like all the conflict, like you're going to get a message tomorrow and everything's going to be all right and the whole world's going to be rectified. And those kind of like promises of like a respite or ease. But this is also really bringing up that, yes, there's a lot of also conflict and swiftness around us. And so they're almost sharing, it's like, how can you, instead of asking for kind of like swift message, or again, because back to that reactivity, or that and asking for focus, it's going like, can you go deeper? It's like almost like if you get message, and it's, I know this is the weirdest thing, but I'm getting, it's like almost, it's like if you regularly connected to mushrooms for message, right? Or and replace that mushroom with anything that is growing, that is life energy, right? It could be that you speak to trees, it could be that you connect to a specific being, it could be that you connect to a specific deity, right? And you go to that kind of like way that you have connected to things before. But of course, as we see, there is so much more to that. There is so much more to that to be explored. And so there's almost an ask to almost even slow down the process. I'm getting like it, when you are in connection to your spirit council and to your ancestors, it's instead of getting like the first response, like almost I'm getting this energy of like a first responder, that like you'll kind of like ask a question, and then the first responder of spirit that shows up and says, hey, do this, then you're like, okay. Yeah, and which keeps you again in that frenetic urgency that is being asked to shift, right? That's definitely the shadow. And so this is the what to look forward to, is that these will be more profound messages, not messages that are coming swift, coming quick, that then make you feel almost like jittery and quick and swift and have to react and respond in quick ways. They're like, this is going to, you can look forward to almost like, and again, I'm just visualizing this person sitting in meditation and bringing in the connection to their deities. This group is very connected to deities, as just meaning like potentially there might be some witches in the group, even honoring kind of like goddess altars or things like that, and it's going, well, remember that the energy of goddess is really reminding us of the most emphatic power of the vibration, right? Vibrational energy of the earth, of our bodies. And the beauty of vibration is that the further that you allow that kind of hum and exploration in your connection, that you can access more. And so they're like, enjoy instead of like, they're making so many cute connections. Sorry, if I have a couple laughs, but it's like, enjoy. It's like sipping that tea, right? And the whole process of making the tea, of how that slowed down, this kind of very gentle, kind of real practices with your physicality. In the practices and processes for receiving guidance, it's going, how can I sit a bit more? And this might even come up within receiving this reading. It's like, how can I sit a bit more beyond the first responses, beyond the first things that bring up the pings and the sense of urgency? How can I breathe through that? How can I still be here? How can I still be this earthly being, to then allow kind of like myself to even process that swift response? And in that, then potentially, okay, that's calmed down now. And then, oh, interesting, I'm now experiencing and receiving a connection beyond that I haven't, right? That they're almost sharing like there's a lot more guidance and a lot more connection to be had, beyond your first responders. And also I'm guided to kind of remind you of, or even remind myself, but ancestors, like whenever I do ancestral ceremonies or connection to spirit with people privately, you know, you might come in with like a big massive query, right? That could be very esoteric or very huge. But when they step in to share guidance, they always first look at the physical. They're like checking and ensuring, like, are you okay? Are you well? To be able to continue to walk, right? To be able to continue to move, to be able to continue to breathe, to be able to continue to live. And that's the thing that they first address, right? And so that's also what I'm getting with these type of first responses or first responders, is that some of the messages that you may have been receiving, or some of the work to support yourself through this bigger patterning of shadow, is they're just trying to make sure you're still okay, because there's a lot of things burning and roiling and moving within you, and so they're trying to support like the a bit of calm within, to give some space and time to allow these things to what is surfacing to kind of be fully expressed and seen, and then what is settling and shifting, and what even might be expelling and moving to do its due. So there is a very big ask to kind of like move beyond the first response, to give yourself and pace yourself, and that in itself might bring up stuff. So let's see how to maintain this, right? The next card that is coming in this is the light maintenance, and I found this quite neat, because that was really the word. It was like what to maintain while you're moving through shadow, what to protect, what to shelter, or what to sustain. And this was upright, which is the Six of Pentacles. Look at this awesome, again, earth energy, right? So now we're shifting from a lot of the wand energy into the earth. How neat that the shadow might be showing up a lot within the teachings of the wand cards, the wand court cards. Actually not court cards, but like the wand journey of fire, of focus, of intensity, of strength, and of even moving up to think of in the court cards of like leadership and potential greater confidence in life to really speak your truth, be that real you. And what is showing up to honor that you do carry is they're like, you do carry this ability to balance, you do carry this ability to step beyond the difficulties of before. The beautiful thing of the number 6 in tarot is that 5 tends to bring up, right, a lot of the conflicts and the struggles that we're experiencing. And by 6, it's like this movement beyond that you're kind of seeing some hope, seeing some awareness. And this could technically be like, if some of the struggle around all of this feels like you are lacking in earth energy, meaning that that could be potentially grounded relations, grounded connections in your life. It could also be actual money, right? It could actually be financial security or stability. That there to maintain, it's like it's neat, the tactical realms they're sharing, like this awareness of it's like, okay, look at, instead of like continuously having to be ready to fight the battle, and react, respond, react, respond, react, intense, it's like, what are the things that you can also then shift your focus on to go, I know I can do this. And I'm actually getting like the simplicity, I know this sounds really weird, but like the simplicity of budgeting, or the simplicity of looking at how you manage your finances, how you're able to ensure your stability and well-being in life at this time, and to allow that. And it's neat, I'm coming back to that, those, how they asked for like a couple moon cycles, right? That they asked like slow it down instead of just asking for everything all at once, to give yourself a process to explore, making the tea, doing the do. And so I'm literally seeing like spreadsheets, like people like putting out their potential like budget, seeing like actually that they can maintain that in this process. And those very kind of simple, practical things on your month, like your monthly dues, like your monthly activities and actions and movements, will actually be very supportive to allow these shadows to integrate. It will really start to I'm excited for this. I have a couple more messages, but I'm guided to kind of like bring in the 6th card, the synergy card, so that I can read them all at once. This synergy card, how well does that? The Hermit. This Hermit now has shifted from wands, as you see, from like the staffs, right, that have been pointed as weapons, have become moved into arrows and all these things. The Hermit now carries that staff. The Hermit now carries that staff. That understanding of kind of, I'm also getting the energy of the awareness that like the fire or the intensity of shift and wand, and how these staffs may have been used in the past against you, or to to harm, or to intensify and push or prod, that now there's quite a grounded awareness that, right, this stuff, this intensity, this focus has been shifted. I now feel capable of moving forwards in further connection to some very real sensations of calm within the body, within my structure. This is so neat. I'm there's this kind of even balance point, this 6-pointed star in the actual lantern that they carry. So there's almost like a repositioning of the fire and the intensity, to learn how to then, like this, oh, this is such a beautiful merge of like that fire and intensity that was continuously coming and sharing conflict or challenge or intense ways of having to react or move or through the world or feel pushed or prodded to have to do certain things. Again, back to like, it's like the victim now not even becoming the abuser, right? Like there's the like, stepping out of that and going, right, I am taking that awareness that I gained from all that thing and allowing that to potentially light my way. But at the same time, I am honoring that that first came by me uniting my fire or my light with my wood, with my earth, with the things that feel stable and secure in my life, so that now I can feel some further the peace within these karmic wheels, within these active wheels of patternings and siftings and sortings of self. Wow. So again, the Five of Wands for group one, Seven of Wands. So I'm just guided to share all of these. The Star reversed. Oh, whoop. Eight of Wands reversed. Six of Pentacles. There's something also in this card. Yes, I was, and the Hermit. There's something also about service. So it's like realizing that these kind of very tactical, practical things of like making the tea, budgeting, knowing that you are financially stable, and capable of moving through that month, is there's also something then about then going, right, like then some of that access I can share forwards, some of that, and that kind of service work, that paying things forwards, moving some of the energy that has grounded in you forwards to others, is going to really support this synergy within of you feeling kind of like this calm, wise, sage, capable person in moving into these next seasons, even into the teachings of this year for you and all of that. Mm, yeah. So for sure, and this is not necessarily, it doesn't have to be that like some of you might feel, I'm getting that like you might sponsor a family. There's some, in my link tree, there's always certain serviceable actions to share forwards, funds to families in need and in major conflict zones and genocidal areas within the world. So you're more than welcome to share, support that. But I'm also feeling it's not just like taking the money and giving it to somewhere. There is actually, I'm just connecting to this energy of the service, because that may bring up a bit of like kind of power differential and so they're almost asking, it's like bring it into a more relatable way of how you share forwards. Like that might just be supporting smaller businesses around you or supporting your friends' businesses, or work, right? It can be simpler and feel then that there's more of that reciprocal wheel, starting to be initiated to support. And what I mean by that is, a lot of this conflict, kind of like that oppressor oppressed energy, right, is has shifted a bit, and meaning then to almost like step out of that. You don't want to then like step into a different power role. And this is interesting. I'm kind of getting that this might be what has slowed down some of this shadow work and patterning to clear, is almost this worry that then once you receive that power, you might become the abuser, you might become the oppressor, you might, ego might overtake it, and like I'm better than this person and or people. And So there is an ask, as much as there might be like a movement into sharing something forwards to others of how you can um, bring in some harmony in that experience, to know that that is helping you to nourish and to foster further relationships within your life, and relationships that can be supportive instead of almost transactional. So this is like, if I'm guided to later this week, I'll be speaking a bit about further into reciprocity uh, in a video, but yes, there's something also about the shifting from like transactional relations in your life. Like, you've given me this, so I can now give you this, or vice versa. So that is being asked to shift. And this card, right, is the light maintenance. Like, so that's the awareness of going, there are reciprocal relations waiting for you. And so there will be, it's like, give of you, share of you, what you are capable. It doesn't always necessarily be money. It might be a nice meal. It might be you know what I mean? Like, there's many uh ways of sharing earth energy. It could be a beautiful like gift of a herbal tea to the people that are around you, that you're just going, deep gratitude for supporting me through this, here you go. And pacing yourself with that to support this greater shift of welcoming in reciprocal relations. And which is interesting, because the hermit, sometimes when it comes, a lot of people are like, oh, self-reflection, like the lone wolf, like the lone person that is moving through the thing. And I'm getting more, this is like someone wise and able to move where they need to, be it into further into community, further into the things that are going to support you living well, in further reciprocity, in further connection, be it to the earth, be it to animal, be it to people, be it to, all of the things that we coexist with. All right. So just seeing, is there any additional message? Protection. Okay, sorry, that just popped. To support this transition, if you are not working with Obsidian, um, they recommend just carrying one around as needed. Support that, like play with it, almost let it be kind of like that stone that you are working with. They're almost, even if it's a larger stone, they're sharing like you can give little massage to certain areas that feel kind of really roiled up, and lots of different type of energetic experiences to just support what it all is surfacing and what is moving through you, to almost allow that, even like in a necklace, to allow that to be almost an amulet of protection, and to support this to support this I'm now getting like with that soul alignment that was shared in the Vervain card and spellbound, that to support kind of like the relinquishing of maybe like the chains of that shadow. I'm almost getting like the binding of the shadow was a really good like ring of energy that, to support it replaying, repeating. And this is almost like allowing that to gently dissipate in your processings. Some of you might be nudged to reach out. It doesn't always have to be to me. I do energy cleansings, but for some energy cleansing work, just to get an additional perspective. Like, meaning some of you already might do regular energy cleansings and workings on yourself, but sorry, I got a little there. So I'm like, they're sharing almost that there's something in that has been difficult for you to cleanse on your own. So to seek external support. And I know it's been difficult to, there's almost like been going like a difficulty in trust, a difficulty in like who can I trust and connect to that. So to again establish it slowly, that relationship, It's not like, okay, I'm going to need an energy cleansing, I'm going to now like connect to 15 people and see who has like an availability tomorrow, right? It's almost going like, start to know that even those healers or those diviners or the people around you that can support further, just a different view, right? That's it. That's the beauty of a healer. They're just stepping in and they potentially can see something that has been really challenging for you to shift or clear, because it is so innately linked to what I'm getting almost is like, there a lot of our a shadow, right? We digest, not all of it is expelled. Some of it is actually an aspect of us. There is a beauty in both. There is a beauty in both. And so I'm really getting to almost, it's like I'm guided. If you're guided to connect with me, it's like, let's get together for a tea first. Let's get together for a tea first, get to know each other, and then move into kind of energy cleansing. Does that make sense? It's like, allow yourself to start to go, right. I can give myself, I can pace myself some time, and do things in a bit more of a gradual way that will be most impactful. They're not sharing that like you'll then have to like feel like you're going into like a 15-month plan of energy cleansing. It's like, if you do it in that grounded, slower, more kind of like laid out way over some cycles, that you actually will receive quite effective results. And because you've been doing some very good work, but it's just about supporting the integration process. And I'm even getting kind of a memory of an energy work that I did with someone. They're kind of sharing me that as an example of like, it was almost like there was so much work done, that there was just like some maintenance work required, and almost like garbage maintenance, like of seeing what was the caca, what was actually just kind of floating around that was needing to be just assisted in expelling, and what was the beautiful things that are kind of surfacing that can support, and allowing those to not solidify but to merge, to unify, to like, all it was just, it felt like it was all these bits of things bloop 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 all over. And so there was a lot of work of kind of allowing things to assimilate and to solidify, and then the things that were kind of inhibiting that merge to occur within, to support the cleanse from that. Yeah, so definitely that can support, not to feel like you're alone. Start to establish some relations uh with people slowly. Give yourself space and pace to respond to requests. Let yourself take 3 days to make a decision, or 2 days to make a decision, and to honor that decisions. They're sharing one other thing about kind of karma for this group, that the decisions are not necessarily it's like the desire of like each decision, then everything works out. And I'm also guided like um that story of I think it was a Chinese parable of, the story of this man finds out like gets this thing, brings it to his house. Everybody's like, wow, this is incredible. And they're like, is it? And they give themselves space and time and realize like something bad later happened from that good thing. And then everybody's like, whoa, that's so bad. And you're like, is it? And then something actually from that moved forwards and was really good again. And so they're like that. It's like, stop placing such deep weight on each decision having to be perfect. Back to that perfect tea analogy for you all, is to allow yourself to go, okay, yes, each decision I make in my life, there's going to be outcomes, right? There's going to be things that happen, and some will be good, and then some might then come from that good that will be bad and difficult, and then some will be good again. And those are the movements of life as things are sorting out through that decision. And so instead of berating self for past decisions that didn't work out or didn't help, to like honor, okay, well, each decision I make can each action and each step forward or movement forward that I do, each breath forward, um, I, I I can allow myself just a gentler pace in that, and to know that not every single thing has to be like perfect, that the completion is simply making the decision, and then to honor the movements and the interactions, the relations between you, your surroundings, and what kind of then gets resorted as you share forwards outside of yourself some of these deeper decisions. Again, then it's almost like then some of this what is surfacing and roiling within you can also shift what is surfacing and roiling around you. Woo! Okay, I'm going to take a little pause. So I'm going to just pause this video and have a little break before I get to group 2. Thank you, group 1, for your tenacity and your capacity for receiving these messages today. May they support you forwards in how to unite these shadows and light within. And if you are ever so guided to further connections, I always share in the Linktree ways to my private workings, as well as circles in Patreon that you're welcome to connect if you wish to do it in group. Okay, much love and deep honor to all the work that you have done to get us to this point of connection today. Thank you. I'm going to now pause. All right, welcome back to group 2. Group 2. Group 2, your card that you chose and were nudged to come into was manifest with this lovely quartz. And ooh, Nelly, I'm needing to have some water. Energy of this group is very different than the one prior to. So I'm glad I took a little pause prior. To share how I will be doing this reading, I'm guided to also pull from 3 decks, the Moonology deck, as well as the Pure Magic Oracle deck and the Plant Spirit Oracle first, to receive some additional messages from the moon, the elements, and the plants, prior to then working with the This Might Hurt Tarot deck by Isabella Rotman. All right, so let's get started. Group 2, manifest. Whew. Things are happening. Things are happening. Things are coming to you. There's a guarantee in that. There is almost some deep work that you've done in your receptivity to receiving things. And there's something that comes up a lot when I speak of, what has been shared as like manifestation, and what I refer to as creation work. Okay, is that an important aspect of that, right? As we kind of expand our capacity to receive what we have placed out there in our voice, in our words, and what we have spoken into creation. There's then that space and time to allow it to receive. And how do we receive, right? How do we receive the things? We receive from other people, right? We from beautiful people that step into our life to share, be it the message or to share the actual thing, like to give you the thing, right? So there's almost an ask to open almost like your allowance for further messengers, and those like really like human messengers, people in your life to because it's like they're going, it's not all just going to be like that magic, right, of like going like I want this, or I'm speaking this out, and I've done the work within to allow myself to receive it, and now as well in that allowance process, I'm being asked to also allow like potentially interactions and connections that might be that I may not have been open to before, to support what is coming in, because that is the person that is going to bring the next message or bring the next opportunity forwards. In the Moonology deck for group 2, further message for manifest. Okay, actually 2 have come for your group. Interesting. And the Pure Magic Oracle. Oh, and the Plant Spirit Oracle came swiftly for this group. Okay, swift energy, swift energy. So yes, like they're sharing also, like not to think that this is it's a long waiting period. Interesting. How neat. Oh my gosh, I love when I get these cards together, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but your commitment is being tested. Your commitment is being tested. So like, are you truly committed to what you have wanted to make manifest? Have you truly committed to what you are creating? And in that level of commitment, right, how can you still trust? How can you still trust that a win-win outcome is forecast, right? That these things will come. These things will come. They are on their way. They're on their way. So in though the test, right, of how committed you are in that belief and that in that structure of like, yes, I trust that I am in relationship with the earth. I am in relationship with my body. I am in relations. I'm in relations with so many energetic beings and things that are supporting these movements, because they're coming from good intention, from good space. That when then these things kind of feel stagnant or slow down, or a difficulty arises, to not let those difficulties almost like step you into the like slowing it down again, or limiting, going back into kind of like a cave of limiting again, back to that message that first came with the manifest card of limiting the interactions that are required to support this, to support and to allow this to come further manifest in real time, in real life. Nelly. Okay. The 6th card in the earth element is showing up also, Hecate's path. Hecate's path, the cycle of life, night magic, crossroads, letting go. This is neat. I was actually in conversation with someone yesterday about Hecate and how they share this type of cyclical energy of things, of honoring. And then can you imagine of how many cycles are occurring simultaneously? You know, it's not just that we're going through a death phase or a life phase or a rebirth phase, right? It's like that death, life, rebirth cycle occurs simultaneously in multiple things that are shifting. And so then, instead of really kind of like almost like holding on to one aspect of that cycle, like the beauty of Hecate is that they share you know, this transitional movement, like allowing those things to continue to be in transit. I keep getting that, like this that word transit, like you know, actual like transportation, so to speak, to honor those cycles and rhythms, and again, this allowance is coming through for this. I'm curious, I will go further into, there's in the crossroads and letting go information once we receive the tarot. Wow. And the Plant Spirit Oracle is sharing Elder, the Eld Mother, fears, nightmares, and foreboding. I'm really interested to see what shadows are for this group. For there seems to be almost kind of like this stop-start energy of what is coming, because of just certain kind of uncertainty patterns that bring up almost old fears, or of just kind of like that mystery, but you're tapping into the mystery to support creation, right? Like creation occurs within the mystery, creation occurs within the void. So but there's almost then coming up, there's a fear of the void, a fear of the mystery as well, which is interesting. So I'm really curious about what comes up within tarot for this group. So okay, so group 2, I'm just going to give a little shuffle for what shadow work is ready to be integrated and what light is needing to be maintained. So card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, card 5, and card 6. All right. First card placement is the current shadows that you are moving through. Yeah, this is so what? Okay. I'm opening up all the cards at once. Okay, first off, no reversals. This is the wildest thing because I work with reversals. They have a lot to share, but these are actually all upright. So they have very direct message for you today, which makes sense. There was a directivity, a clarity in bringing in with the crystal, as well as the awareness of creation and things swiftly coming in. So whoa, okay, all right. I need to breathe for this group. So what I'm going to share with you is please breathe with me. Please breathe with me. Please breathe with me. Okay. The current shadows moving through. What came up is the Queen of Swords. This mental acuity, this capacity, like how interesting that the energy of this like regal crowned being is actually the shadow. I'm almost receiving gosh, what was that like quote that was attributed to multiple people of kind of like our greatest fear in life is not is of our own magnificence, of our own strength and capacity. And so there are some shadows actually around your mental strength, around your around the capacity that you have built and maintained that has brought up quite a bit of doubt. And so I'm really seeing like this energy of like the hand with like one hand and with the sword and the other hand kind of outstretched and opening, like this kind of like I can receive while I can also very clear, like this is, you have been working at like with energetics for quite a while, and meaning like you've done many multiple practices to support you moving through things to a point that it's like you're now capable, but there's still almost like a lack of trust in your capacity, in your initial capacity. I'm curious to see how this relates. I'm there's a swiftness as I've shared of energy in this, so I'm going to move forwards. For this is the ask of the elemental shift. And how neat that we start again with the swords, which is an air, right? Swords is air and very much connected to the mind, right? Our mind abilities or mental capacity and movements. And even seeing how like, but there's this bird above, right? So even in this strength and regality and capacity and this stability that you're sharing, there's almost like a view above that you can also tap into to support you understanding kind of like why there's a big why. There's a lot of kind of like, why am I doing this, and for why am I doing this work? Like you're bringing up some very big questions in life. There might even be some shadows around your purpose, like I'm actually, or really like trusting that that is your purpose, really honoring that that is your purpose. The doubting, like again, there's a lot of mental work around some very big questions in life right now. And how wild that you receive, like this card is just stupendous, the 10 of Cups for the elemental shift. The elemental shift is asking you to realize, like, water, right? The emotional, like I'm getting like, this is going like, can you literally list, can you write down all the things that are actually working well in the relations that you have connected to within your life? Can you literally list all the things to realize, like, okay, this work has supported me? But it's almost like that there's almost, yeah, there's like an intensity of mission and purpose, like you're calling with this work, and your power and your gifts, that is almost, and I apologize for sharing, but like blindsiding you from actually what you already have. And almost like looking, uh allowing yourself to kind of list, to flow with, there's a almost like a gratitude flow they're asking for. I know this sounds weird, but to kind of like really take in and acknowledge the things that have flowed in already within your life, be it the better relations, the stronger connections, the people, the placements, the surroundings that you are in, that are supporting you, um and to hmm hmm and the movement from air to water, is a very interesting one, because of course in air there is a condensation that is carried, right? Like you can go out in different weather and feel the air has like a wetness to it, or a dew, or a dryness to it. And so there's almost also and asked to see that, like, these are interrelated, these are connected within themselves, right? Like, of how water actually will move and transform and shift into vapor, and part of the air then that you breathe, and then you work with. So yeah, and back to even the cycles of life from the Hecate's path, and the earth plane, right? That this type of crossroad work now, and this is neat because it's not about going to an actual crossing guard to like go, okay, I'm going to like step and cross the road now. That's what Hecate's bringing up. It's like, I'm getting almost like the place where things intersect. So it's like maybe in your walks in nature, to support like where rivers intersect, or where water intersects, right? With, and maybe the movement of, or maybe two currents of water. Like I have this place that's close to me where I live right now, that like there's a stream that comes out into a bay, and then so that's moving this way, and then the bay's water is moving this way, right? And so they're actually crossing. And so when I wish to kind of like make kind of a deep shift, or a deep awareness shift in what I am voicing out loud, because in manifest that, to support that flow, to support those cycles and shifts, we have to voice our acceptance, or right, the commitment being tested is like recommit to it. So there's an ask almost to, in this process of acknowledging what is flowing, and then addressing some of the fears around the greater things that you wish to manifest in larger kind of purposeful reasons for being, um, to almost like have a ceremony, have a connection with water, and while you breathe, while you speak into the wind, while you speak into the air, of that you are ready to almost like shift course. There's an ask to kind of to shift course, and that doesn't mean necessarily that you're shifting course and it's like a completely uh different course, right? Like asking you for complete rehaul of things. This is more so going like, I can trust what I have built. I can trust what my where my mental acuity has grown to, right? To honor that there may still be some things that I am moving through in my uncertainties or doubts around my gifts, but that this shift into further. That's neat that I even asked at the beginning of the session, like we're breathing and have some water, right? It's to honor that like those can work really potently together to allow, that's this wondrous relationship between two elements to support uh a swift awareness that then something can come, that something can come. And I'm almost getting, it's like that you might do this like crossroads ceremony, share like, this is my new statement out into nature, speaking it out there. I'm getting a lot with this group that it's important, from all the mental and energetic work that you do, that you're really speaking the things out that you are wishing to create, and to honor your words and the choice of words to support that. And so kind of making this like reaffirming your commitment, and then like in that crossing, like in maybe stepping beyond, or literally like wherever those two energies meet, right? Like stepping over it, and in that crossing that you do physically and actively, that you're carrying, then you're still carrying your gifts, you're still doing that, but there's just like a gentle change of course of going, right, I can allow more. I can allow then all the things that I can mentally capably do, but then, right, I am not alone in creation. Creation is always a co-creation. It's a collaborative experience between me, the earth, and all the things. And so to truly allow these things to make manifest within your life, to start to allow the rhythms and the cycles of life itself to support you, to ease the intentionality. Like I feel there's a lot of focus within this group, and that focus might actually be bringing up unnecessary kind of analytical uncertainties that are kind of harboring or inhibiting the flow of what has been requested. So the workings forward to support this integration. How interesting. That into cups, right? So there's a deep shift into water, and into like water energy. Know that's of course like a lot of feeling, sensation work. That's a lot of exploratory work. I'm getting almost like allowing yourself to hum and gently move, and or dance. Um, different practices to let yourself start to really connect to the fluids. Actually, on my YouTube page, I have, I think, an a mim movement playlist that shares connect a movement connection to water. That would be actually beneficial for you to just gently kind of like reconnect to that, because Seven of Cups is a lot about choices, right? There's like so many options. What am I manifesting? What am I wishing to create? And again, this kind of coming back to, right, like the shadow is actually like this deep kind of like uncertainty. Am I truly doing my life mission? Am I true, or am I, like, I mean, like this kind of truth of actually what you are sensing and requesting. Is that right? Is that right for me? And there's a lot of things coming up. There's a lot of things that you're wishing to witness within your lifetime occurring. Some of you might be looking to like shift the home to potentially expand your knowledge of something, learn further about certain things, to potentially like greater connection and community. I'm seeing further awareness of like how you can contribute to the earth, how you can contribute to healing and supporting the planet and the peoples on it. There is a lot. I'm even seeing specifically this snake that's in the plant. Yeah, this asking kind of like there is a lot of transformation and shifts occurring within your life, and so you've been working a lot within your mental acuity and your capacity to move through that. And this is so neat because sometimes people don't think like shadows are actually around the things, as I said, that like you feel you're quite gifted at or you're strong in. But actually that's where a lot of the self-doubt, right, comes from, and where we kind of feel like that stop start of energy. And so yes, to support these kind of this decision making, the card 4 is sharing what will work, what will this work assist in your life, like what to look forward to. So I want to kind of go into that because this is kind of a decision making card. Is Page of Pentacles. Further access to support on the earth planes, be that actually financial, be that in relationships, be that in connections to something very earth based. And how neat, you're getting like all of well, you're no, there's no wands, but you're getting definitely, it's like from connecting with mind, honoring further flow of the multiple cycles, the multiple things that you've initiated by kind of like thinking of them and curating. They're almost sharing like this curation of movements around what you think about these different things that you're asking for and hoping for or wishing for. There's been some good work on starting to potentially envision the what will bring you further harmony and peace in your life, ease, so some easeful cycles of, instead of just always moving through the life, death, rebirth, like immense. You've done some really deep shadow works. You've done some really deep shadow works. There's been a lot of release, a lot of night magic, right? That they're moving into those deep kind of childhood stuff. Like you've really acclimated. Your mental acuity has supported a lot in shifting. And this is now coming to actually, it's kind of like, okay, so now that you've shifted all that shadow, the shadow in itself now is like, can you trust that? Can you trust that ability that you carry? And now can you simply allow some things outside of like the yes, no, your awesome discernment, things, like just allow some spontaneity, some of things to start to flow in. Messengers, back to the messenger, right? Pages are always those types of messengers that are bringing some news or things like that. And again, what came up within even that first card was like being open and allowing for the human messengers to allow further communications to support really your hopes for a good future, right? This hope, like it's so neat that the elemental shift, it's clearly also, I just want to be very clear that it's not like you haven't worked with water. You actually are at a point in your workings with water that is a very complete point, right? Meaning you're very aware of the emotional movements within you from all your deep mental work. So to not feel like this is a new embarking. I want to be very clear on that this is not like completely changing course. This is more so about going, okay, even though I'm very comfortable in the emotional realm and very like aware of what potentially might bring me some joy in life and bring me some further deep connection and also creation, literally like the creation of new things, be it another human, but even I'm getting like, you know, actual creation of actual projects or things to offer the world from all the deep work that you've done, you know, like that's the kind of thing. So like it's allowing yourself to, in the decision making process or in all these things that you're kind of like floating around, okay, I've asked for this, I want this, I need this, and it's like, is it too much to ask? I'm also getting that almost. It's like, are all the things that I'm requesting to shift, is it too much? There's almost like an ache or an uncertainty around kind of, be especially because of the energy of the world right now, the energy that we are moving through and how it is so disruptive. There's almost like an uncertainty of like, is this the right timing for me to actually receive, like, and there's a share that, well, in the light maintenance, right, there's a share that like, uh this is like optimal, this is an optimal time, because then you will be a stronger and more capable being to support people on top of yourself, right, be it your friends, your be it family members, be it close people, be it people that you work with or in service with, to support them in this trying and challenging time that we find ourselves in. Uh, so, yeah. Oh, so the light to maintain is this Eight of Cups. And I love the imaging on this Eight of Cups. I just want you to see like how there's, you know, some of the emotional work that you've done, that you know, the broken cups, as well as there's some that are still full, but that this person's kind of leaving all the that previous emotional things that you have let go, you know, back to this letting go and release work that is with Hecate. You've done a lot of kind of emotional release and healing, which is very clear even from where you are at currently with that element. So this is kind of reminding you that yes, there's been some emotional challenge, there's been also some good, and you have made yourself aware now of the good as much as the challenge, right, like of both. And in that awareness, though, again, the crossroads of like stepping beyond that, right, in transit, and going, right, like I can leave that all behind me. That is what was past. And I don't even have to go where there are more emotional breaks than emotional yays, right? Like it doesn't matter. That's not on the scales. There's no scales here. It's just asking now, can you move forwards and trust that there will be potentially more things to explore, but there is there's an asking of, again, that stepping through the crossroads, making a deep kind of like commitment to honor however the emotional capacity I feel I have from what I have already moved through, um to and I know this sounds weird, but it's like letting kind of, again, that allowance, that vulnerability, that openness to the mystery. It's like they're moving beyond all the things that are clear. They could have stayed and kind of nurtured the things that are good here, but there's an ask. There's an ask right now to move into that unknown, into that unknown. And that might be a bit frustrating. It might bring up some emotions for you because of your mental strength to kind of go like, there's still unknown, but this unknown, this trekking, this deep surrender to the void, to the earth, to the energies of the elements, to the energies of spirit that are all very actually swiftly moving behind the scenes. There's a lot of activity around you, and now how can then you maintain your trust in the walk, and maintain your vision, right? Your vision, as well as the tenacity, or like, like that keep going, right? To not kind of get walled and going, okay, and this is a death phase, a rebirth phase, or a life phase, which I find it funny that I was talking about that with the cycles of life within the Hecate card. And what comes up as the synergy card is the death card. Wow. Whoo, which is a major, major transitional card, right? It's a wondrous card to honor and know that there is an end of something, and something that is then ushering in a new cycle and that new cycle, I know it's shown so far on the card, that new cycle where the sun and the pillars of what has been built and established in your trust and connections to the earth and to, oh, so many things that then but there is a bit of a focus on the amount, kind of like what's in the foreground. I'm getting, like what of the potential, like reaping the literal oh gosh, the massive deaths that we are witnessing at current within the world, the amount of almost like I'm getting like the end of capitalism, the end of colonialism, the end of like these big things, um and and honoring that, like as we see these really big things on a collective level ending, and seeing how endings sometimes are quite messy and take time, right? It's not like it's just going to stop. It's not just turning a light switch and going, it's done, right? Endings can be slow, laid, and drawn out. And but they're asking you to honor that, as much as you may be witnessing these deep endings and pain and difficulty, that there's a deep request in remembering that part of a death cycle is it's almost like how there's death doulas, right? I'm getting that word of like those that support the grieving process and the shifting process. And I'm almost getting that type of watery energy with that. It's like, how can you support the ending processes that are coming around, while still maintaining the knowledge, maintaining the mental strength of being aware that these endings are supporting some very beautiful beginnings and new cycles that could bring much promise, but they're not all of a sudden going to be perfect and great right off the bat as well, right? Like, as if it's a slow, arduous death, then there might be a slow, slow and maybe even dysfunctional, right, life cycle that steps into play as well on a larger scale. And I'm really getting this because you have such awareness and work that has been done within self, that a lot of your attention does go to the globe, or to the collective, a lot more, which then kind of leaves you in the midst of processing all those things, in a like, this is the workings that are yet to come, right? And I'm really seeing this as a card to look further into, and to contemplate a bit on, because then like there, it almost shows that there's an uncertainty of allowing some of these things, because there's like, do I deserve it? Like, while there's all this strife and pain, do I deserve a home? Do I deserve a to do further shift? Do I deserve like those lotus flowers to blossom and those deeper awarenesses to occur? Like, there's some questioning of kind of like, in those the cycle of life, because there is such an odd flow of so many things that kind of are ending and closing and beginning all simultaneously within, as well as around us, and in our towns, cities, and larger global scale, all concurrently, there is a deep ask that to start to see how you can integrate, going like, uh, where am I maintaining my focus? And if my focus is there in a place of going, okay, foreboding, this is going to be further shit's going to show up, further uncertainties. Maybe I have another fear I need to process. Maybe I have another like intense uncertainty that I need to process, and I'll work on that. It's almost like some of your shadow working has been like a really comfort or safety blanket. And so the ask for integration is to remember your light, to remember your gifts, to remember that within these larger scale processes that might be not all synced up exactly, right? So there could be a day that you are receiving, or you received that next gift, that thing that stepped in, be it a new communication, a new connection, a new someone stepping in and sharing, be it further finance, further monies, further stability, further security for you, while you're simultaneously witnessing people have their stability and security taken from them. And so there's this kind of dance right now within between like how self and collective are, you know what I mean, like how those movements are interrelated, and to not get like too caught up in one or the other, to be gentle with self, which I can now understand why there's within the light maintenance is the Eight of Cups, is yeah, like to be looking at the bad, the good, right, in self, of what's been received thus far, of what is still, you're still open to receive within your life, so that you can also then go, what, like in all these endings that are around me, and also potentially in personal life, that how can I foster still that trust, and that hope in the mystery that has guided you through all those shadows, that in your ancestral support, in the support that you walk and move with on these planes, in the connections that you've established with nature and the waters within you, as well as around you. Yes, the very, no wonder it was such kind of grand swift energy, because yes, there's a strength, there's a, definitely, you all carry very strong gifts of awareness. Some might even feel like they're called clear cognizant, right? Like you have a very clear knowing of things, and have always felt strong and capable in making decisions. And there's almost this kind of like some of the fear or the shadow that's coming up right now is, because you are feeling indecisive or a little bit like stop start, that you're almost starting to again doubt or not trust those gifts that have served you so well prior, kind of going, do I need new ones? Or hence the big questions about life purpose or calling right now for you all. Yeah. So seeing if I am guided to share further, let's take a look at the cards. So current shadows moving through is the Queen of Swords. Elemental shift, moving from air into the completion of water. 10 of Cups. The workings forward to support integrating these shadows is the 7 of Cups. Getting there's almost like then going, with all the decisions or with all the things that you're wishing, it's like to focus on one, and it's not then that you're not, like, the sweet thing sometimes about creation work is to almost forget about it, to lessen the hold or the intensity on all the things that you are asking for, and to just allow the movements behind the scenes, so to speak, to start to bring things into place and into motion. And so they're almost sharing that like by a focus of like one choice or one action at a time, that to that will then support some of the other ones to flow, to, you know what I mean? It's almost like then you might not receive the thing that you're kind of really focusing on just right away, but you'll start to receive answers and responses to support further clarity in the other aspects that you're looking at. So yeah, like, and I think that's even like the shifting of the course. It's like going, if you're really really like focused on thinking about one of these decisions and you keep drawing back to it, then allow yourself to focus on that and see, like, kind of like broaden the perspective. I actually just did a meditation recently about broadening perspective, so that might assist in practicing a couple times to support these kind of mental emotional processes, because this is very much, I feel like, the mind and the emotional body connected, the mental and emotional planes connecting with you. That's really what they're asking you to do. It's kind of like, if you feel that you have more mental acuity, then to start to go like, how do I connect these and allow these to move together? And as they move together with that gentle practice of focus on one, and even if it's not like a huge one, then to see how you can then trust, surrender into the void, to see what else comes your way, to be open to the messages that might come to support another of the things that you have listed, that you are hoping to bring into life for further security, living, breathing, and being able to move and freely within your life. Yeah. And then, so yeah, Seven of Cups was working forward, the workings forwards to support the shadow integration. This was to the I always forget the fourth card. I have to keep on looking at. So what will work? It's like the what to look forward to card, right? What will work in your life? The Page of Pentacles, the light maintenance, what to maintain and protect and shelter is the Eight of Cups. And then, yes, we come to the synergy card, which is in working, allowing your shadows and light to merge and to work together in this wondrous process, to honor what expels and to honor what moves, but to really, in the Death card, a strong message here is to, you're very comfortable almost in moving within the shadow works and some of the death cycles. You've allowed endings to occur, and so these endings are there's just kind of a message of like the endings and shifts that are occurring with you as you've synced to the land. They might feel very congruent and comparable to some of the endings and shifts within the world, but to keep to kind of look further towards that gentle glimmer of what's coming, and to kind of like see, how do I build that? How do I like, what is that, right? Like, it's not just, remember, it's not like the end, like the close of something, stop, and then like on, perfect, utopia, right? It's like, right, okay, so I focused a lot on this, so it's like, now how do I shift focus into going like, how do I actually implement? The implementation of the new cycle is being asked to. So then, instead of like focusing on all the things you're wishing to manifest, is just going, how would I need to implement this into actuality? And so as the things come to support and assist me in this creational work, how do I utilize my gifts, right? The swiftness and clarity of thought, to be able then to draw up into that broader perspective and to see how to implement the cycles to come. Interesting. Whew. I thank you for sharing your power, your gifts, your energy, your breath, and parts of your story with me today, group 2. Thank you for this connection. If you are ever so guided into furthering connection, my link tree is below. You're always welcome to connect with me for a private reading or private workings. as well as on Patreon for group connections and circle works. And yes, until we meet again, you're welcome to like, to subscribe, and all of the things. Deep gratitude, and may these implementing and planning of this course and shift of flow within you be supported in the days and weeks that come. Deep gratitude. I will be pausing the video now to take a pause and a shift of energy before I go into group 3. So thank you. All right, group 3. Guided actually to shift the energy, find yourself a stone, find yourself something very sacred or special to you to support you in this connection today. Group 3, violet flame. I know it's hard. There's so much dark amidst the purple, dependent on how it's seen. The amethyst showed up as well for you. Ooh, this might be, even if you do carry amethyst, to allow yourself to breathe and place it on your third eye, like on your forehead, as you receive these messages, to let yourself feel amidst this process. This is a process for you all. Even my energy is naturally, they're just like the messages are softer, are gentler for this group, meaning yeah, there's some deep transmutation occurring. And so when we ask the deck what shadow work is ready to be integrated and what light is needing to be maintained, I'm just placing actually the deck with your amethyst there for it to charge, while I access 3 additional oracles to support this message. One from the Moonology for group 3, violet flame. For pure magic oracle. So if we're receiving from Moon Planet, we are now receiving from the elements. 1, 2. And the plant spirit oracle. So I love how I was even sharing in this reading, receiving, that it is a process for you. And what comes up is this processing, new moon in Pisces energy, this meditation, this contemplation, to allow space and time for things to move and to broil. Almost, I'm receiving to further access message. It's not going to come right away. There's being asked kind of a respite, a time for respite. Wow. And this I just need to double check, because the purple outline for this deck, you got 28 and 29, so literally like back to back water. Okay, thank you. So Pisces, water, and here you have literally 2 cards that came. Most people got 1, so group 3 got 2, and the first one is Belladonna Visions. Caution, guidance, clarity, stand firm. And how neat that there's also, even in these kind of water cards, there's a lot of purples and blues, and drawing down the moon, the divine feminine, really that energy of divine feminine, just to correct it, because I'm not really utilizing those terms, is that like the immensity of vibrational energetic capacity that we all carry. Source, channel, and stillness. Wow. Respite. Okay, time for respite. Yes. And that guidance to give space to receive it. Really honor this process, almost allow this process of our reading together today to be a meditative practice, to let yourself, I even was guided to like, right? Like that maybe as you listen to it, you're lying down, you're doing gentle movements, you're doing breath, you're honoring what arises, what surfaces, what comes. You might jot things down, you might draw, you can explore, right? Respite time doesn't necessarily always have to mean that it's literally just rest. This is a meditate, contemplate that also has come up. So these deep cleansings, right, are not going to be sharing like a clear. Yeah, I'm interested to see what the shadow workings are, what comes up with tarot, because there was something about guidance and clarity with the belladonna visions, almost kind of like it are some of the envisionings or some of the actual guidance that you're receiving supportive or not, and I'm curious to see what comes up with that. Hmm. Hmm. And for the plant spirit, multiflora rose comes in, and of course you see this rose with a snake, with this old wasp nest that is within these plants as well. So antagonism, conflict, and disharmony. Yeah, so oh, oof. Deep breaths into your heart. Even tears, allow the tears to flow. If you don't normally cry or allow yourself to cry, almost to allow yourself to moan, to howl, to like sing, you know what I mean? Like those types of songs that will allow some of the immensity and the grief of what you're moving through to start to emit and to move out of what's being carried within. Allow it out through your lips. Yeah, I'm just feeling like let yourself have some sound work will be very powerful to support what is moving through sound healing. Mm. All right, let us get into tarot to see further what comes from these, so the support network they're kind of sharing of the moon, the elements, and plant. Dear Tarot, I asked for group 3. What are the current shadows moving through? That literally flew up and positioned itself. Like yeah, okay. Card 2. Card 2 is the elemental shift to support your shadows integrating. Card 3 is moving forwards. What workings forwards are needed to support integration? Card 4 is what to look forward to, what all this deep work, what will it help in your life? Card 5, which also came, is the maintenance, the light maintenance, what's requested to maintain, support, protect, or shelter even within this process. And then card 6 is the synergy card of how this work of your shadow and light work is going to, what will that merge and support in unifying within. All right, just getting into connecting also to the amethyst. So I will start with the first card because the first card was the one that literally flew up, opened up, and already shared itself, which is the 3 of Cups reversed. 3 of Cups, as it tends to be quite a celebration card, a card of connection, of community, of friends, people that are trustworthy. But I love always in this card, there's even the eye on the back, right? That there's like this awareness that a deep awareness that there is a trust and a connection, and an openness of yeah, there's and with it being reversed, almost there's a desire for community, for further connection that I'm receiving, as well as a connection for really meaningful um relationships, and that can be nurturing for your soul, that can be supportive for all that you have moved through and are moving through. So to almost there's an ask in with the your current shadows that you're moving through, to tread gently, and to allow yourself to really just really initiate kind of like a deeper connection to some of the people that you really hold dear, and to nurture that so that you're kind of not alone in this, um, as well as sorry, the energy of this group is very different, and so it's a bit like it's even asking me to be a bit slower in sharing some of the message. Mm. But also this the shadow of kind of like of never feeling that you're celebrating, that you're you know what I mean, like there's not this point of going, yay, things are going well, awesome sauce, right? That feels like that hasn't been, that has not been for a while. And that shadow of kind of like these regular cycles or circles of discontent, conflict, disharmony, all the disses, all the antagonists that have showed up, the ones that you might not have trusted, right? Like this is very, very clear. This is the current shadow, and I'm curious to see what elements, elemental shift. There's so much water energy, right? Like just think with the Three of Cups, right? The water and emotions, that the Piscean energy, that with the meditate and contemplate, from the new moon in Pisces, which is a very, new moons are also very introspective, reflective, going into kind of like the dark waters. And that's literally what I even felt when I was starting to share some of those last messages for that first card, was like that I had to actually energetically move through kind of dark waters, to access further message, as well as like all of the the drawing down of the moon, right, connecting and channeling and receiving visions with the waters. Woo! That clearly there's a lot of water energy in this shadow work for you, a lot of emotional weight to it, a lot of depths that you have been moving through, so that even almost I'm feeling that like that ask for further respite time is like I don't really know what that feels like, because it hasn't been a respite to meditate or contemplate. It's actually has almost felt quite detrimental, and so there is an ask to bring fire. There's even the messenger, right, the Page of Wands. And I love that this wand is actually crafted into a guitar. Back to that, I was sharing that sound healing, wasn't I, for this group? Oh, there's a pause with that fire energy. I will pause for a second. All right, conflict averted. Barks have completed on our shift of element, right? Like how swift was that shift, even in sound? Gosh, that's so weird. Anyways, back to the Page of Wands, right? This asking you to kind of bring some firework into that almost like they're sharing, it's like as you move into those murky depths or into all the emotions that are being felt, can you do that? I'm getting literally candle gazing. It's a practice that is one of the branches of yoga. I'll double check my branches names in Sanskrit to share the exact one, but it's literally of actually like lighting a candle in front of you and allowing yourself to gaze at the flame. And it's neat with even this type of violet flame work. It's neat that candle workings are being asked to be brought in, to and in that kind of gaze, right, it to simplify kind of like your relationship to that flame, to that fire, right, to breathe with it, to see how your breath feeds it, to see how how it moves, how it dances, how it gets big at times, how it might lessen. uh and so it's not necessarily that the ask of shifting into fire is then like taking the immensity or the intensity of the depth of your shadow and grief, of all this kind of dis right, just all the disses, right, that have occurred, and all of the strife and the conflicts that have occurred, or the lack of trust that has occurred, to then kind of like go, I need to then like push a really intense effort of fire. It's like, no, 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 remember, it's just a messenger. The page has a gentle energy of that fire, to but it's bringing in, almost like, if you think of when I was speaking of how, if we're reutilizing terms that are more honoring that energy is not just feminine and masculine, right, and that sharing divine feminine is like literally just sharing what we then have termed as like good of that, right, or really amazing or powerful of that. If feminine is like, you know what I mean? And then so you think then, okay, so we've feminized earth and water, and we have masculinized air and fire. But of course, those it's not just that. But they're sharing that if you're looking at type of the feminine masculine, it's like that energy that is vibrational, right? That actual that moves things, and then that almost like that electrical impulse, like those the sparks of energy that you feel might be mental acuity, or like those aha moments that you receive, or like the impulse to act, the impulse to do, or to start something. And so that is kind of what I'm receiving of how to initiate some work with fire, to kind of go like amidst this time of respite and kind of grief work, and mourning, so to speak, some of the changes within community and connection, some of the changes within friendships. I feel almost like some of you, like some have been had maybe trusted confidants or friends, or like there's almost like a two-face coming up, like that some of the people that may have guided or shared support in the past, showed their true colors and aren't supporting you, or had different intentions than what you were expecting or believed to be true. And so while you're doing kind of like this the deep grieving work around that, and letting yourself feel through those things, to then kind of push yourself to do some gentle impulse work, right, like to kind of go, what are little things that I can activate and initiate in this process? Maybe it's a new like a new food that you start to make for yourself. It could be, like just small impulse actions that feel comforting, right? There's a musicality to that. There's a contentment in this connection to that energy. So yes, things that don't feel magnanimous at this point in time, small initial reaction, like initial responses and shifts are being asked. Gentle things that feel that they are doable in a day or in a week, to be completed, to be supported, almost like going, okay, I will, as I, I'm grieving and moving through these changes, to I will write about them and share a letter to one of my antagonists in life. And in that, then I will, instead of sending it to them or keeping that and rereading it and revisiting all the strife and the pain then almost having like this wondrous ceremony of taking that like painful letter and burning it, right? Or placing it into the flames with love and care and singing. Again, I just felt from the beginning of this group, like voicing that pain, but in a way, like, just think of all these beautiful grieving practices that are in different cultures, of song, because sometimes, we've gone into such massive amount of tears that now, like, that heartache comes into some creation, and so that might even be a painting, that might be something that you write, something that you produce and create, in a gentle pace. Doesn't have to be frenetic, right? It's just like, what are you impulse to share forwards? And it doesn't have to be that it's sharing out to the world even. This is just sharing forwards in some type of creational work, and creative work for you to almost go, okay, so that grief, that experience is now expressed in this thing. And yes, maybe I have chosen at one time to burn it, and some maybe now this has become beautiful. This is actually transmuted some of that pain and energy, and it's shared with me, like, you're doing your shadow workings in gentle, actions that then can kind of assist the alchemization of that. And water fire, movement is such a wondrous pairing, right? It really is kind of, honoring the ways that we feel, right? We feel either the intensity of something, or we feel the immensity of something, right? And so there's it's almost going like, how can you repurpose, the the immensity that you are feeling and bring some of that into an intent. So immensity into intent. The workings forwards to support your shadow integrating. Ooh. Five of Cups. So do you see, with elemental shift, it's not that you're then leaving the cups behind. You're not leaving the water behind and just focusing on fire, right? Because that might feel frenetic and too intense a change. It's going, let me, when I'm feeling in the deep murky depths, to bring in some shift, some subtle shift that I can do, be it song, be it writing, be it creative work in some way. And so that then when I revisit the immensity of what I am experiencing, I can remember. And how wild is this? Like, this person is, back is turned and looking down at, like, the things that have been lost, right? The things that have been spilt, the cups that have been messed up. And how interesting that even in here, those are the three cups, right? There are three cups that are being really focused on, of what of this card, right? Of the shadows that you are working through now. But this is the five, and I know five is bringing up challenge and conflict, but two of those cups carry flame. Two of those cups actually carry an energy to them that are still there, that are still behind you and actually supporting you. So they are sharing that there is some supports, to even though that some of your trust in maybe human or peoples around you, or in circumstances, has been tested, that I'm really getting that connection to drawing down the moon, that you are connected to source, you are connected to larger protectors and support, and as you kind of initiate some of that firework within your life, that you can kind of start to nourish that, to feed that, to support you in the workings forwards. Okay. And there's almost this impasse, right? We see this river crossing, and they're placed at a point, they're not even close to the bridge to walk over to, you know what I mean, to the thing that is being established or being founded, it is, they're at a point that it may be a difficult passageway, you know. And I think that's why it comes up with this giving time, giving respite time, so that, you know, it's kind of like then realigning yourself even in the positioning as you are moving through this emotional healing and this healing work, that you can almost reposition yourself further down the road, so to speak, to as you kind of like are able to breathe and to look up again and to look forwards again, that you see that you have placed yourself closer to the bridge, closer to the thing to walk beyond, and through this impasse. I keep getting that word, that there's almost the workings for it. There is an impasse. I would support for sure uh some guidance, be it from your, and even they're asking with the belladonna visions, right? But there's a caution, so there could be that some of the shadow working is making it difficult to receive clear message, because maybe you've connected also, I'm almost getting like you've connected sometimes to the greater beings, which we tend to do when we're moving through big struggle, like angels or your star elders, and a lot of the beings that are very filled with the light, and potentially are also from a dimension that is actually like they know of oneness and allness and the union of that, like, right, they have unified. They don't have the dual struggles in that we experience in human form. And so there's almost like like workings with them has kind of shared a lot of like hope or soft message to you in the past. And they're asking kind of like, okay, to move to support your workings, receive message from outside of your comfort zone, in those murky depths, in potentially more ancestral ancients, you know, or you can connect also to another person that shares channel or message. You're welcome always, of course, if you wish to connect for a private travel. That's what I would suggest for this group, is energy cleansings. But you know what I mean, to know that this is like allowing yourself in this meditative kind of connection point into the depths, to allow yourself to kind of travel in those places in consciousness with an experienced guide, to then see how you can support the moving, the reassembling or repositioning of yourself within that sea of your consciousness, and events, so to speak, concurrent events within your life, uh in that repositioning. How can you access message that may have been in those murky depths, and a little bit harder to access in your grief state, or in your in your current emotional state. So yes, some support can assist you for sure in some of these shadow workings. And I'm almost receiving that, like, the shadow that you are moving through is almost like a dull throb in your head. You know what I mean? It's something that is just constantly kind of pulsing there. And so no wonder the violet flame came from. This is like some deep shifting, but deep shifting work, like stepping into a flame, right? And allowing that to burn away, and um some of the excess of that energetic buildup from those events within your life can then support almost like a clearing, a mental clearing, and support further clarity forwards. So yes, if you are so guided in a travel, I would suggest, like, it is going to be a stepping into the fire. It would be a stepping into the fire. process. Woo! Wow. Yeah, I wish I could just share some holding, to share how those depths can to allow almost like the depths or the heavy that are being felt within, to almost like see if you can allow them to move a little bit beyond the skin, so that then they just kind of like reposition themselves into like a depths of like comfort of almost like a water bed, right? Like to feel how they can encircle you instead of like contain or restrain. Slow, gentle work. Slow, gentle work. And that just keeps coming up, is giving yourself a really a pace for this work. Ah. Ooh, and what to look forward to, right? What is this work leading you towards? Interestingly, it's the Lover's card. But the Lover's card, I don't think I have to. There's a button, but I don't have to really censor anything of this card, I don't think. But the Lover's card upright, and how neat. I was sharing a kind of like, really in this group, there was a lot of talk about feminine, masculine, the energies of that uniting, right? Working with both, expanding that integration. And that's kind of what I'm really receiving this, is that there's almost like a deeper, um, there's something to look forward to, of a deeper kind of connection to how you carry both of these energies within you, and that they're not trying to create more struggle and strife. They're trying to work together. There's a deep kind of going, we wish to grow, we wish to grow, we wish to share further support for you. This could, though, with the reversal, also share potentially of relationships ending or have ended, and almost like the desire to have those, to feel those choices again, to feel almost that yes, I can potentially open and connect to new people, and establish further loving relationships and connections over time, that maybe I can witness this again in a new way, in a new way. This is work they're almost sharing for this group. This is work that as you allow this gentle pace, to honor that this may be for like a year's work, right? And so that you don't have that the reversal is also kind of asking you to just be really gentle in going, right, yes, I carry support, even though the support might feel in the murky depths and not above me, like those awesome light beings that I like to connect to. But in those depths, uh to just kind of, yes, to kind of play with those energies, and remind yourself that if I'm feeling that I'm very like moving into one thing, how can I support myself moving into the energy that feels opposite, or different, really just different. How can I initiate some like actions? How can I move into maybe the discomfort of doing gentle impulsive things, or gentle impulses of movement, while also allowing that vibrational energy of all these shadow workings to clear and to heal. uh this is a deep healing of self, and how you have been related to the connections around you. So and I'm getting almost that you're like, oh, healing of year, but it's like, but right, but healing is not a cycle into itself. Once you allow that to be kind of your focus, that you're like, I'm here to heal and nurture myself and nourish my processes, that's going to allow then some growth, that's going to allow me to witness small creations, small growths along the way that will then over time build up to bigger cycles of growth, right? So if this is a healing cycle, most definitely, then you must, you can accommodate that it's also a growth cycle, right? There, if it's clearing cycle and things are moving through, then clearly that's creating more space for more things to come in. These things are happening simultaneous. The water, the fire is really being shared here, and bringing them into some balance, but also with the reversal, I'm guided that that balance might look a little different to you than what you might have perceived before. So there is potentially also some, I guess why they're asking for some further workings in within your healing journey, because there might be some perspective shifts, right? Like some actual shifts of actually what this is, what this communicates to you. And I know some of you might Google the Lover's card and look it up in a whole bunch of different ways, right? And do that, and then look up the reversal and look that up, right? Contemplate, reflect on things, and see, how what are you really connecting to, and what might be being asked to re-envision back to that belladonna vision, right? Like to look at or allow it to reform. Like maybe it's not necessarily that I needed that. That was an old childhood shadow of and of conflicting patterns of relationships in my life that kept on happening, and I now want actually relationships in my life to be like this in a different way. These are my requirements, but to build that up, you have to move through the processing. And I'm even feeling it. The processing first. And then you can look forward to redefining relations in your life. Relationship first to self, and the world around you, most definitely. The supportive network of the earth, the other things that are growing, healing, shifting, moving in the cycles of time and nature, but then also potentially moving beyond that into rectifying almost better relations in life, be it in loving friendships or connections with others. All right. And group 2, and the maintenance work that is being asked, of what light to maintain. And this is really neat, is the 2 of Pentacles shows up. And of course, Pentacles is earthly things. Could be from finance to back to relationships or connections with people in your life, which has been quite a bit of a theme thus far in the cards. And of course, the topsy-turvy waters, right, with the sailboats that are showcased behind it, with even the movement of the water and the air in the person's hair and all of that. This kind of feeling of like, okay, I'm balancing this and focused on up here, but all this stuff is going on here, and all this stuff is moving me here. It feels like there's just like a lot of stuff to process, and so what you're focusing on trying to clear or heal is they're almost like, can you like like just think of this, okay? You're like here, it's a windy day, you go out to the sea, it's like moving boats all around, there's big waves behind you, and you're there, not even like connected or to all that's around, you're connected still to that thing that is looping, still to that thing that is working. And so, but there is rose. I love that there is rose that is shown here with also the pentacles. That this definitely does feel around a love relationship. so it's like what if I asked you, who do you love right now in your life? Who can you share fully that you love, be it animal, be it plant, be it human, right? Who do you feel full um deep love for? uh to lean into that while you allow yourself to kind of shift focus, like the light moving into. And this is a neat thing because in the light maintenance they shared, this is a request to maintain this upkeep, the shelter, sustain, or protect. And this is almost like asking you to, for I'm getting like that shelter word, right? Like to shelter, like to honor that in this flow of healing and growth, and moving through the immense cycles potentially of difficulty and strife, that to it's not about then just like you can't forget about it because it's been that dull throb in your head, right? But it's to go, okay, as this naturally is going to move through me and start to shift and heal, and as I pace myself with this, I don't have to bring my full focus to that and to struggle in trying to maintain it, which might place me off balance in the rest of my life. I can now become, like, they're almost like asking you to become aware of your surroundings, to become aware of like the waves and the wind. And so this might be actually like some good work to maintain your light, right? Your the capacity to move through these shadows is to be of service, and specifically like try some volunteer work, get involved in something that is um that makes you feel that you are being purposeful and sharing kind of in a communal setting something for others, and not even something for others. It could be an environmental actually thing, right? It doesn't have to be necessarily that it's human service. It could be service to the earth, it could be service to the waters, it could be um becoming involved in becoming a land steward, and tending to the lands around you in your area. But there is an ask to kind of like and this is neat. I have heard this from many people in my on my travels and journeys, of that, when there's kind of a lot of difficulty that they know that they have to kind of just pace through, or slower movements at times of things shifting, then to, it's not shifting the focus completely because that will be there, but to get into the doing, into the action of finding further purpose or further cause for you being here now. What really expands your heart, what expands you into feeling you're part of a greater good or a greater whole, or a community that is supporting and nurturing good relationships with things, to support you as you move through these processes. Hmm. And then okay, group 3. So the final card, the synergy card, which is sharing kind of the both and, right? Like acknowledging that in doing, honoring and acknowledging both the shadows that you're moving through as well as the light that you are working on maintaining, of what this will support within you. What will this merge or unify within you in this process? And what arises is the devil reversed. And well, I guess they look kind of like stickers. Yes, there's stickers on the chest. So I don't think I have to censor this. But this devil card, well, look at all the chains of this excess from, and some of them might come like the conflict, the strifes, the disharmony, the disconnect, the antagonism, all the tension and the chaos. and the potential bacchanal that's around, and they're all changed, and they're like, help me, like get me out of this. I'm chained to this behavior, this addictive behavior, this shadow habit. It could literally, you know what I mean? Like the devil brings up all of the, our the shadow habits, the stuff that we are know are there, but we're like, on another day. But the neat thing is that this energy card brings this energy up reversed. So this is really sharing that there will be a shift in some of the habits that you could potentially consider are shadows, right? And are not helpful for your well-being, your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, the harmony within your body. This is really, sharing like we're shifting this into some harmony, back into the multiflora rose and rose energy here, right? Like to and the rose has also been always connected to the energy of like, it, the four-petaled rose for me is a very strong symbol, which almost shares the mirrored reflective effect of an infinity loop. We're in an 8-year too. There's a lot of code here. So I do, some of you may be channeling or connecting with spirit, and again, to just go a little bit beyond what you have channeled, to allow yourself into the depths of those messages, to start to repurpose the rose, to almost heal the crushed petals of the experience, to smell to the rose, to potentially even use rose water to start to support, in a really gentle way, you to access some of the energy of, like I'm really getting with this too. The devil, what I always feel is kind of like, look at this, it's like this bestial pagan woman, could be, right? Like, or non-binary being, or you know what I mean. um Gender expression might be all over, but I'm really getting with this group, that many of you may identify as women, and this is like also like the pagan kind of witchy aspect of the Sheila Nagog. I'm getting, like that type of like the old goddess that looked scary and out there and wild, and that then when it moved into religion and different, different ways of belief systems, that they were shared to be very pagan and out there, or devil worshippers, or all these weird things, right? Like the devil itself, naturally always when I look beyond this card, beyond religious teachings, right, that is just simply anything that was shared to not be of the light of that religion. And so this might also be bringing up some deep healing on even further beliefs of kind of what might feel out of good or out of light, and and almost like repurposing some of that, the things that felt darkness or bad or evil, and discovering then how actually those are just parts of you in deeper connection and relation towards all the things around you, and to the earth itself, and the energies of the earth, even the ones that look like a little scary or uncertain or out there, are there to support this wondrous kind of mix of things, that of and energies that the earth carries, of our dual existence, and what may be beyond that. So this interesting. Yeah, for this group, a lot has come up even around, exploring potentially gender, exploring potentially like, further identity, sexuality, and uh seeing kind of like, this is gentle work, this is work. And then what I mean with the year, it's like, see how you could sign up for some support with that, And sure, I can assist with like a travel or something like that, but I'm also getting like even potentially just like having someone to speak with, you know, and further unpack some of the things that might be actually around this, further around this shadow, so that you can start to bring further um groups or groupings or relations in your life that really celebrate all of you, from the shadow habits to the things that you don't have to feel any part of you is hidden. And then maybe some of those shadow habits will naturally fall away in the process. Yeah, yeah. All right, so just to recap, shadows you're working on now are Three of Cups reversed, the elemental shift being asked to support integrating this shadow is Page of Wands. Further workings are the Five of Cups to support that integration. What will this assist in your life is the Lovers reversed. Yeah, redefining the Lovers, redefining loving connection in your life. There's a lot of that coming up with this. And the request to shelter or maintain the light is an ask on, in the midst of it, to see if you can gently move into some doing of volunteering or of service work, to potentially support you in feeling that you are in, you have support around you. Like that support is not really being felt here. And so then the light, they're kind of like asking, like, really initiate a deeper connection to the earth, so that you can feel the earth's energy supporting you, even amidst some of the shifts in relations with humans. And the synergy card for you is the Devil reversed. So transforming and shifting even the sight of what that may be, of what are you so hard on yourself for, like what even in below that figure, what are some of the images that you see that are bringing up some, "Ugh, I don't know, I don't like myself when I do that," and potentially then going, how wondrous in becoming aware of these things that I can free myself from some of those consternations that are in my own mind, the own judgments around what might be allowed, acceptable, and what may not be. All right, so whew, deep breath, much love. Letting yourself, even after receiving this, just some space to breathe, to let yourself acclimate. And I'm recommending, even for this group, after kind of processing, if you wish to re-listen, even like in a day or so, to see what else really pops up from it, to honor that. And yes, but for now, just to kind of like breathe to sound, to put on some music that you can sing to, and you can allow some things to move through, as you kind of maybe see and witness what little pulses, impulse to act or create, can support you in this process. If you're ever so guided to, please like or subscribe to my channel. I thank you so much for spending this time with me and breathing and receiving these messages for you. And of course, if you are ever so guided to step in, yes, I would suggest like tea, travels, that type of aspect, so we can travel into some of this subconscious and consciousness together. Okay, much acknowledgement towards all that has moved through. Deep gratitude to you being here now. I thank you, Group 3. Take care. Welcome, Group 4. I've been working actually with the pendulum just to Shungite, to actually just clear the cards for this group. And as I tap in even to the energy of worthy, I'm just feeling like even this first space is just to take a breath. Ooh, to take a breath, to connect, to allow yourself to connect to the beauty of a larger perspective of the globe, the earth that you are on, even at this moment in time. Welcome, group 4. For your reading today, I will be working with the This Might Hurt Tarot deck, as well as I'm nudged to work with 3 other oracle decks for supportive messages from the moon, from the elements, as well as from the plants. Wow, I'm feeling the immensity. I welcome you. I welcome you, and I thank you for being here and for breathing together with me as we move through this process. With the Moonology deck for group 4. Ooh, you are very connected, my loves. I literally am feeling some of your ancestors like stepping in to support this reading. So welcome them in. Welcome them in. Welcome your guides. Welcome your counsel. Pure Magic Oracle. And Plant Spirit Oracle. Ooh. Okay, very interesting. I'm just sharing because there is a similar card that came for group 3, so some of you might be guided to also visit group 3 to see if there is additional message for you there. They also did receive this new moon in Pisces, this kind of reflective, watery experience of some meditation time, some contemplation time, some time to kind of sit with things instead of to enact. This is of the water as well, number 30, which is the hallowed heart. And we see this deep heart healing, that is occurring though in rest, in again, in that type of feeling of contemplation, of giving yourself space to move through some of these things. Veneration is, ancestral veneration is very powerful, and it's neat that even the ancestors came in right away to honor them. So some altar work can definitely support some offerings shared to ancestors. Sensuality, gentleness, and nakedness. So there's something that's being exposed here. This is deep healing card too. Wow, okay. I'm curious to see the tarot. I won't give too much before of the oracle helpers prior to receiving the tarot, but then also there is catnip. And interesting. Even on my break before this group, I have a cat upstairs, and they came to say hello. So how neat how that catnip shows up. Opposites, separation, and contrast. This is almost the reflection of kind of like what is you, what is not you, what you're feeling is you and what is not you, and allowing those to start to connect. Some deep reflection work is being asked for this group. Okay, interesting. Group 4, worthy. And in this worthy card, I know I didn't really share too much of that, but I'm just seeing like you're at a point in time that they're like you are. I know it sounds weird, still standing. Like there is, you are here, and your life carries value. You carry benefit. You share. You have much to share in your life, and so to accept. Can you They're almost like, I keep seeing the lips. I keep seeing the lips for this card, almost like these large lips behind this being, to almost go, can you simply state out loud right now? Can you state out loud right now, my life has worth. I carry value and benefit to this earth, to this earth, to beyond even myself, beyond even what I'm visualizing or acknowledging as self. I carry value, I carry worth. And what comes up as you state those things out loud? What blips and dips, and potentially to support some movement in those areas, to support, like, not to feel like, oh, something's telling me no, right? It's going, right, those dips and blips are the shadows. I can clear them. I have value, I have worth, and I know that I can move through the things that I am reflecting upon. I know I can. I can. There's also a very strong thing of like sharing that, like, I can. I'm curious to see what Tarot brings in to support this. My sorry, ancestors literally like said, before Tarot, look at this card. I'm like, okay. The Hallowed Heart, sorry, is what I'm contemplating right now. There is a lot of trepidation or uncertainty or trust in self at this point in time, or like, what is the point of it all, or what is the, you know, of my existence. And so there is an ask to really be gentle with self, and what is coming up within the mind, or even potentially in the lips, and the negative self-talk. This is kind of like self-beratement, doubts within your own capacity, that is arising already in some of the shadows. But let us see for the tarot spread, what shadow work is ready to be integrated and what light is needing to be maintained. So the current shadows moving that you are moving through is card 1. Card 2 is the shift of elemental focus to support your integration, and then the work forwards to potentially support your shadow integration. Chapter, gosh, I'm like, literally things are flying. That one I have to keep right upright because it just came upright. That is, what will this assist in your life? What to look forward to. There's card 4. Card 5 is the light maintenance, the request to maintain or oh my gosh, shelter or support this. Your ancestors are talkative. I haven't, even in all the other groups, they haven't been as like literally like they're guiding my hands, guiding like my focus. Like you have a lot of ancestral support. So please give gratitude to them and maintain your communications in this process with them. And if you haven't fully connected to them and you're going, what do you mean? Then okay, we can connect together and we can further explore which ancestors are supporting you, because they're quite talkative. So if you haven't been talking to them, that may be also something to step into. And then card 6 is the synergy of this shadow and light focus together. What will that merge within you? What will that unite within you? All right. And it's very neat. For this, 2 cards already are completely face up, so I see them. So I kind of see where we're going. But let's see. I will share. Oh. Yes, some of the cards that have come up are similar to group 3. So for those of you that feel, I would even share, like, listen to the messages here. Give yourself some time to integrate and process them. And then if you are so guided to, you can always go back and listen further to group 3 to see if that was like a message for you after the first process, if that makes sense, because sometimes perspective shifts might need to occur. Or if you're really kind of just getting a pull or a big yes, to have a deeper reading, meaning like to listen to further, maybe there's more than like one thing to explore, then you can go back and listen to group 3 right afterwards, and see how they interrelate. Okay. And it's neat. I just realized too in my break. No wonder I'm feeling all your ancestors moving me. I don't have my support network on. Hence why I'm now you understand potentially some of you why I wear my obsidian on this too, because some ancestors and spiritual counsel of you all, and people in general, right? Like if you haven't been in communication with them, and then someone you connect to who is in regular communication and connection to the spiritual realms, or that umbrella of what we call spirit, or beings that are not informed but are here to connect with us, then they kind of sometimes be extra talkative, or extra, as you saw, encouraging towards, trying to direct the reading. So I'm just taking a moment, whew, to allow myself now to go, yes, I thank you. I honor all of the ancestors that have come in and stepped to assist this reading, for they are definitely wishing to support you on this, because the shadow of this, which is quite neat. Look at this. It's like I'm falling apart with the the spirit connection. But the shadow, the current shadows that you're moving through, is the Emperor. That, look at that person that is fully contained and capable, understands their life power and life force, their kind of relationship or connection to the globe, or to you know what I mean, like all the further events and things that are supporting, and how they are in good connection to that, as well of course the support of the animal helpers, the support of the many kind of the strength of that ancestral support. This is like the veneration, that knowing that you are standing again, that standing. And I apologize, that's a bit ableist language. Ooh, that's my dog says hello. It's a bit ableist language, but there is something of literally feeling like you are like that your stance in life, that your position and placement in life on this earth now is important, and to start to really trust that there is a value. Okay. And what that has been established in that, there's so much that you can establish. There's so much that you can, and Emperor, like, we are repositioning these things, right? Like, we're not all wanting to, I'm sure many of you, just kind of like me, might be anti-imperialists. So it's not that we're necessarily needing to like create a new empire to lord over the world, right? And I think that's some of the shadow here with this group, is kind of like, you might have seen some very strong individuals around you, or examples within your life, within your childhood, that have shared like that is the one way, is to kind of like have power over others, instead of displacing, or not just like dispersing power equally throughout the world, and acknowledging that all contribute to a larger strength and capacity of life. And so some of the shadows may be coming up around those types of authoritative figures within your life, or just simply also authority within the world, because I keep getting that there's a lot of awareness kind of in potentially the timidity that is felt of your placement in the world, that that you might be seeing certain examples of strength. This is a strength year. It's been kind of shared that, you know, the number 8 year for with tarot, but it's that, yeah, this the shadows are really moving through the strength and your capacity to potentially lead differently. You know what I mean? To know that like you can carry power, like the carrying of power, the worth or the valuation of a human being that carries integral power and energy, you know, and cultivating that, of how that doesn't necessarily have to then reflect into how you have seen potentially power showcased to you throughout your life or even in media. And I'm guided to kind of come back to this, of kind of going like, this is me, gentle, soft, you know, and this is that other thing over there that looks super strong and capable and all of that. And I am not that. This very much of like, I am this, I am not that, that is kind of coming up with this shadow work. And to almost go like, okay, well, if I lean into what I am not, it's not saying that maybe I am that, right? Maybe I am an empirical, over authoritative, powerful being. No, that's not reflection work. It's not looking at the exact thing. It's going, what in that is inhibiting me? What in that reflection of what I am not is inhibiting me from actually stepping into my power and my value in this world? And potentially, right? Like what is, there used to be this beautiful thing that I think came up around like maybe gosh, I'm looking back even almost like 6 years before or so. um but like this, no, I'm yeah, just like this energy of, these are big cycles. The shadow working, the shadows that you're working through are big cycles, like meaning that you might not necessarily have seen multiple patterns within the past couple of years, like going, oh, here it comes again, oh, here it comes again. It just feels almost like that this has been a longer cycle of timidity or uncertainty, when there was such beautiful speak about strength, almost like reconfiguring strength, both and of showcasing that strength doesn't always have to be showcased in strength over another, but it can be tender. You know, there is strength and tenderness. There is immense strength in gentleness. You know, that can be brought forward, and you're really being asked, like, I would even share, you're welcome to further look into messagings on the Emperor card, and to see from the different translations or further messages that you receive within your contemplations, right? Because there is being asked for some space and time to contemplate and move through this, is to see, kind of like, to jot down what comes up that feels, I am this, I am not that, right? Like to kind of like place in like the pros and cons, so to speak, of what's arising within this, and then also what memories come through, or what experiences with different people come through. And almost like I'm getting, you know, it's like if someone, I'm remembering even this communication with someone years ago. Again, this is like, it's so weird. Like the memories that they're sharing with me are like from years back. So, you know, of someone who deep honor and respect to their father, loved them dearly. Father passed, and realized though that the power things that the father did show, they did all efforts in their life to not do, right? Because they're like, I don't want to do that. I will learn from all the good things that he shared with me, and really amplify that to showcase my honoring of his guidance. But also all the traumatic things or the annoying things, I'll make sure just to not do. I will shift, you know, course correct and shift direction completely. And this is neat, because then you're like, actually, you're still being guided from what came through with the, from childhood, or from certain patternings of longer relations within your life. You're still kind of being guided just not to do that, like going, okay, they did that, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the exact opposite. And they're sharing there's something in that that is not really assisting you anymore to be that kind of like, this or that, black or white about it. The opposites, right? Back to that opposite separation contrast in the catnip card. uh that there's some kind of deep healing of ancestors past, ancestors connected, some that you are honoring, as well as some that you are allowing to heal with you, from potentially their actions or inactions, or their things that affected you within life, or even just within accessing and connecting to their energies of your people and your lineages. To almost, I get that there might be a bit of guilt for some, of maybe, hey, my ancestry contributed to some of the shit that's actually occurring in the world. They were colonizers, or I am one myself, or I'm unsettled, I'm settled on land that is, that was taken, and from the or with the people, from the people that were living there previously, and maintaining it for so long, and caring for it, and maintaining the cycles of life. So there's this, the shadow working is quite, it's quite large, and very connected to ancestral. This is ancestral root work. This is ancestral shadow work, and this is being asked to kind of being alchemized within you. And one really good way that they're sharing right off the bat, is to do that type of work of kind of like that, I am this, I am not that. And to see, instead of going, okay, now I'm just going to do the opposite of what I am because I don't like that, but going like, what can I lean into? What are the things that come up within me to heal? What are the things that are coming up for me to feel into? That sensuality, right? That being very gentle and sensual, allowing yourself to really explore what is arising. Why is that such an ick? What is attached to that? So there is some good ancestral works to be done with this shadow. And to further connect to the support of the animals. The animal guides can usually be or supporting the directions, and the support of how to move into the depths of the shadow, with capacity. They tend to usually have ways of being that as humans might not necessarily utilize, right? Like ways of accessing and breathing through something, ways of, so there is something also about connecting to your natural helpers, in this working, and honoring them, giving them some, if you have a familiar like a dog or a cat, like giving them some good scratches and love, in the process, is literally just supporting connection and power flow. Like some of those really simple things of relating and connecting to other helpers that are outside of the human realm. uh wow. Two, the shift of elements. Up comes this breath of fresh fire, firework. Ace of wands. So which is neat, because you're moving actually from the shadow work card. I think you're actually the only group that has brought up a major arcana for the shadow working. So this is like deep soul work. That's why I'm saying like it's not, it's interconnected a lot throughout the lineage and through time. So Ace of Wands, the thing to shift is how you are going about it. This is kind of like how you are moving about it, like how where do you tend to get caught up in? What kind of energies do you get caught up in and replay, like in daily schedule, looking at your schedules, looking at like how you move about a day, how you move about a week, and seeing how you can just do gentle changes, like for example, like like maybe when you first wake up, like before you go about the regular rote of things of making the beverage or doing this, maybe you'll just spend like 5 minutes in just like deep breathing work, um to really connect you to your life force. This is when Ace of Wands comes to me, I'm also even guided to share connecting to your fire, connecting to um, that might have been a little uncertain prior to. There's on my MIM movement playlist, Ignite Your Fire. I'm really feeling like that, like some good breathing practices, some mental practices, most definitely, but to really kind of ignite, to support remembering that fire is not always going to end up to be like a dictator. Okay, like having carrying a fire is you have capacity to, you have capacity to look at that, look at those awesome flames and energy that is emanating from you in all these wondrous grids of awareness and holographic ways that we see the world. And so there's almost a thing of like kind of, I also see this kind of city in the background and going like, okay, so like that's why I was talking about the schedules, kind of like the city life or like the societal life of like the going about the day to day. Like that's what's being asked to shift, is to see if you can shift and bring in some further kind of pockets of time and space within your day, make them as important as all the other things on your list to support you in breathing into your flame, and it can really igniting your passion and yeah. I'm going to go further into that because there's also the workings forwards to support integration, which I find is really neat, is another ace card, the Ace of Pentacles reversed. And so there might be some also desire for like, well, I want to be an emperor. I want to have money. I want to be like, have a good, all the things that like the world shares of like, having power in the world, be it wealth, privilege, or these things. And that might even be kind of like something that's moving through ancestrally too, of kind of looking through is your relationship to wealth, your relationship to your privileges and the intersectionality of things within you, because it is reversed. There's something that's kind of like, there is an offering for forward connection to earth energy, be that in financial currency. I'm getting more the word currency, of flow, but also like even establishing things in the earth realm, meaning like just like as feeling established, feeling that you have built something, you have founded and created something worthwhile in this earth, right, for in your lifetime. So the workings forwards to support as you're igniting your fire is almost, I'm getting like some visualizing work of kind of like allowing yourself to kind of look beyond the I am this and not that, I'm this and not that, and like go beyond the binary, my loves, and go like do the both and this and this. So start to kind of like see like what would you want to build and establish, and that might seem so impossible at the time, and it's not about like moving into then the impossibilities of it and seeing how can I place it into action right away. These are two ace card energies for your workings forwards, two ace cards. So there's a lot of, again, these initiation like times, this initiating, kind of allowing yourself to explore some possibilities that would bring you like the things that you've seen or hoped for, even that might have sounded silly and you kept on pushing to the side within your life. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting of this is and then potentially the ones that you kept and held on to are contributing potentially to this big shadow working that you're moving through, so that then you can potentially go, wait a second, this is not even mine, this is actually my father talking, and this was his dream, or the, you know what I mean, or this was my good friend talking and this was their dream or their way, and that shaped me. So there's some work on kind of like seeing what actually some of the visions might have been more societal, might have been more expected of you, or assumed that this is what you want in life, and to almost like reconfigure your wants in this earthly realm. And you know, like almost your wants, but also your dreams, your desires, the things that might have felt, oh, that's just impossible, I'm just going to keep trucking on, and in my level of uncertainty or whatever, and realizing, wait a second, maybe my evaluation of myself is just simply that I'm also not you know, moving in relations and harmonic relations with actually what I wish to bring, or what I feel and believe that I can bring to the earth, my contribution, my life's contribution, so to speak. These are, yeah, some interesting things. I'd recommend, if you did want for further workings forwards, any private work, it would definitely some ancestral work, ancestral connection, could be some transmutative, you know, kind of cleansing work to assist, but also envisioning work to support yourself, really kind of like allowing yourself to dream again and see those things that kind of kept on coming, like, oh my gosh, one day maybe that will be, one day maybe that will be, and going, well, instead of me going one day that will be, let me bring that into the now and go, how would I actually go about doing this? How would I actually bring this into actuality? And if the answer is not there, that's okay. I don't need to have a direct response of like all the steps, right? I can be gentle. I can be vulnerable in myself, with myself, and be open to kind of like some of the stuff that comes up, in just drawing that thing that was like someday, maybe, never, all the things, that's so far, 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 or that's silly, that's my child hope, my child hopes, my childish hopes, instead of me being a big responsible adult, you know. But wait a second, what if that childish hope is actually truly how I want to walk through and share things, and me trying to you know, keep the grooves of be it from family expectations or societal expectations on me. I've just that have just felt a stagnancy, or an uncertainty of actually how I can, you know, how I can, back to that can, how can I? So by the time we get to card 4, this is the what to look forward to. What will this assist in your life? This is the card that flew up, turned over, reversed, fully faced, the Tower. The Tower reversed. Okay, so the Tower, as we know, is that card that everybody sees and you're like, oh my gosh, big change, big disruption, big end and shift of something, chaos, destruction. Oh, but of course, we know big change can actually support fresh energy, fresh energy. And even this big change I'm getting from this lightning is being assisted, like there is more things at play than it just being here to like be challenging for you, but you have this reversed, right? And so sometimes those really scary cards reverse. I would recommend for this group, look into some major arcana, because this is a, you, from all the groups today, you've received the most major arcana in your reading. So this is deep soul level alchemy that you're working through. shadow, light, we are integrating, we are merging, so to allow the wholeness and the fullness of our soul to be here. And I'm really receiving, yes, some of you may wish to kind of allow this to be a longer contemplation, since these cycles have been long, meaning years or even ancestrally within your family lineages for generations. So these are things that might not necessarily be that you'll have a change of perspective from someone close to you, because they might be also kind of like, well, this is our lot in life, this is what we do, this is what we have done, and why aren't you doing that? And so with it coming up reversed, I'm really encouraged to see, like, this is going to be actually like a shift that can be very supportive in your life, in kind of stepping out of a kind of a longer cycle of like, I am not that, I don't know, of like uncertainty of your capacity, into actually like really kind of almost supercharging, going, right, I can do this. It's just completely different than even what I've learned in my family, or even different than what my lineages or my generations have shared are the ways of life. And so hence why, to support you, is asking the igniting the fire, because there's almost like, once you kind of bring in that fire energy, realign or kind of assess what is meaningful and important for you to initiate within on the earth, within your body, within your life, within your living, that there can actually be some swift response, that you will actually kind of start to see some really actually unique life changes, that come within like a season or two. You know what I mean? Like, not even two. Sorry, they're like, nope, like in a season, like swift energy. This that will start to come, that will be beneficial change, right? Like, that will be beneficial to help bolster and grow your trust in this walk. Card 5 is what is being asked to maintain of your light, what is being asked to protect or upkeep, the upkeep work of your light, the light work. And another major arcana, literally like all of the rest of the cards are major arcana, so that's why I was sharing that. The magician. And the magician, of course, as you know, is the one that feels capable, that they are in communications, they are in deep relations to the elements, to the energies of life, to the earth, air, water, fire. They understand kind of the ability to co-create, to collaborate with these energies, to humbly move with that awareness and knowledge of gifts that can support them in moving in relations to the earth around them, in a way that like, look at this magician, like it's such incredible energy, like the blow of the jacket, like the stance, there's almost like a staying alive, like dancer energy to it. And how neat that they're kind of here going, reminding you, it's like, you may doubt things about your worth and your value and capacity, but you clearly have gifts amidst all of that ancestral turmoil and tumult that you've been moving through. And once you start to ignite and connect to some of that fire, remember your wand, remember your staff, remember, right, like the way that some of your ancestors worked with the elements, you know what I mean, to do magic. And what is magic? It's that just beautiful collaborative co-creational work of going, right, I'm in integrity, I'm in connection with be it the animals, be it the helpers, that honoring the ancestors that are here to support shift and change with me of potential cycles that are much larger than me. Woo, woo, Woo! What a card to receive for light maintenance. So can you can like it's almost like this is neat. They're like really affirmations, like how you're like, I am worth, I carry value, I carry value, I carry worth. They're like, can you speak out loud that I am magic, that I carry magic, I carry the awareness of how to work with the energies shared of the earth and my surroundings. I carry ways within my ancestry that can support me, as well as within my soul. This is a soul path. So it's like on top of the ancestral lineage, remember that it's like your soul has been here for some time, There are like some many multiple cycles. And so as you kind of heal and shift some of the, yes, some of the, as you almost like reposition, sorry, they're like less heal and shift, but it's like almost reposition um how you go about these earthly realms and the functionings of life and community, and what's important to you, it's like let yourself tap into that, like what's important to your soul, not of you being just a following in other people's paths, really carving and exploring your way, the way that has come from the wisdom and the experiences shared and received from a much larger and longer exploration of an experience on these planes of soul. And the synergy card, whew, so it's like something I'm guided to even look. I wrote down the definitions of like the energy of synergy, right? It's like cooperation, bringing in like how can these big shadows and my light cooperate? How can they, again, collaborate and work together to really support me, my soul, my life, my value, what I am gently and tenderly establishing or growing or building in my life this year, or well, I remember they're like swift, so even in within the next season, the next month or so, to levers reversed. redefining redefining relations. This card also came up with group 3. It was very neat. So there is some, as I said, some crossover, but redefining relations with self, redefining relationships to family, redefining relationships to those that may feel or showcase more confidence or strength in their actions and in their life, like who you're looking up to, just letting yourself like, and I really understand what, like, the amount of contemplation is that's being asked for. This is some really good assessment work. So to please pace yourself with this. Like I always, what I'm even seeing in this card, right, is like, and sometimes in the levers card there is showing like one tree growing at a different rate, right? Like that almost there might be a bit of difference. In this, it's kind of like knowing that parts of you might grow in different paces than other aspects of your soul and your strengths, right? So to be as like, as you start to further remember you're working with all elements, right? With 4+1, air, water, fire, air, water, fire, and oh my gosh, earth, as well as ether. I was almost getting breathless from the ether. That this is really then allowing yourself to make some good choices forwards, to and to potentially, though, yeah, I keep on getting from this, with this reversal, it's not like to feel like that means that that the upright is wrong, right, or is not going to occur, because always synergy cards, you want to also be able to look at both ways, because dependent on how you move through the journey, to access that merging, right? You might slowly start to switch those perspectives to bring it upright again and to acknowledge, right, I have immense assistance all around me. There is purpose and reason for me being here. I really am getting that for this group, in purpose and reason and contribution to the earth's energy and to support the shifts of cycles, because we are in some turning shifts and cycles, right? So to honor that in this turn, or reversal, that you're going to almost like get to redefine this card is kind of what I'm sharing. Is that like, look sure at how other people may have defined it and read it, but this is such a beautiful union. This is literally unifying dual energies within a person, within, you know what I mean, within a person, the that spiritual harmony. And so as you're starting to really do that beautiful healing work within the heart, and let that blossom, right? Of how, like, you see in the hallowed heart, like over time, right? Like maybe first you'll see one rose grow and then the other rose grow, and then finally it becomes a whole bouquet. And then there's all those flowers at the feet, or even just showering down, right? Into all this exploration of that. Yes, you have the capacity to shift how you view self. You really do. And how you view your interaction with the world and relationships in general. How do you relate to how do you relate to things that feel maybe outside of the scope or the perception of self? And going, so almost like by the point that you feel you're like, okay, I've done some of these steps, they're like, continue to redefine this card. How is this, how can that redefining of what might already be out there be quite what's the word, revelatory in seeing how you do carry value, to redefine, reposition, share your wisdom, share your magic, to actually support further insight or perspective shift even beyond you. Yeah, so there's some very good relationships on in the self work, moving into kind of like the collective communal connections with this group too. So yeah, deep honor, deep respect for you. And I know at the beginning, in connecting to the energy, um there is some self-talk that isn't as helpful. So when you start to connect to those regular speeches, maybe just take a look and go, who said that to me the first time that I keep on repeating what they said to me? Maybe I can just like, you know what I mean, take one of those things at a time and start to redefine them, redefine, reshift things, so that you can have new mantra, like new things to speak out loud, new things to purposely share in your workings forwards, and in what you are maintaining, which is that belief that yes, I carry value, I carry good contribution to earth in my lifetime. And I share deep gratitude to who came before me, deep gratitude to this body and these lineages that I carry, as well as my soul's capacity to make different, Okay, so I'm excited to hear how it goes. I thank you so much. You are, I always give deep gratitude to you for sitting through this reading. This was quite the powerful connection. And you're welcome to like the video, to subscribe for updates. I will intend to share collective tarot more on a weekly basis, as well as meditations to support your contemplation time and your processing time. So there's lots of meditations here for your self work. And if you wish to share things forwards, you're more than welcome to. I always thank you for sharing it to other people's. And yes, and for further connection, of course, my link tree below. And know that if you have felt value for any of my free offerings, you're welcome to pay it forwards. I always share on my link tree a bunch of ways to kind of contribute things forwards to those in need, more in need than I. And then, but if you wish to establish further relations, you're welcome to connect with me on Patreon for some circle group works, or of course for any private works required or requested. So thank you, thank you. And deep gratitude to you, your spirit helpers, your ancestors, for, oh, I'm feeling like they're like holding your hands right now, like giving you good squeezes. Yes, like, so deep honor to the immense spiritual support that you do carry, and just honored to see such a valuable and worthy character in to be able to read for. So thank you. I thank you. Take care. Take care. And that is it. Whew, 4 groups. 4 groups were read. That was a full-on process for me. I'm grateful for moving through it, and with deep respect and honor to the lands that I'm on, that have nurtured and supported me in this process, to my body that has supported me in this process, to my familiar Paco who has supported me. Deep gratitude to my spiritual council, and to all of the clarity and efficacy and efficiency that has been received to share these group collective tarot readings today. Deep gratitude to you all. Until next time, may you be well.